stood there bright as the sun on that California coast. He was a Midwestern boy on his own. She looked at him with those soft eyes so innocent and blue. He knew right then he was too far from home. Oh, he was too far from home. She took his hand and she led him along that golden beach. They watched the waves tumble over the sand. They drove for miles and miles of those twisting, turning roads. Higher and higher and higher they climbed. And those Hollywood nights, in those Hollywood hills, she was looking so right in her diamonds and frills. All those big city nights, in those high rolling hills, above all the lights, she had all of the He'd headed west 'cause he felt that a change would do him good. See some old friends, good for the soul. She had been born with a face that would let her get away. He saw that face and he lost all control. Yeah. He had lost all control. Night after night, day after day, it went on and on. Then came that morning, he woke up alone. He spent all night staring down at the lights of LA, wondering if he could ever go home. And those Hollywood nights, in those Hollywood hills, it was looking so right, it was giving him chills. In those big city nights, in those high rolling hills, above all the lights, with a passion that kills. In those Hollywood nights, in those Hollywood hills, she was looking so right in her diamonds and frills. All those big city lights, in those high rolling hills, above all the lights, she had all of the skill. Hollywood nights, Hollywood hills, above all the lights. Hollywood nights, Hollywood nights, Hollywood hills, above all the lights. Hollywood nights, Hollywood, Hollywood nights, Hollywood hills, above all the lights. Hollywood nights, Hollywood nights,
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned learned to walk while I was away. And he was talking for I knew it, and as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay, and he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said, I'm gonna be like him, yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, the little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day, so much like a man I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you, can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. We're gonna have a good time then.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my fundamental gold making series for TradeSkillMaster. You're going to see it all here, the fundamental steps that I use from the beginning to the end of how to make gold in the World of Warcraft. So today is Monday afternoon. It is August 4th, 2014. I'm Profits from WildProfits.com, coming to you live from the East Coast. So thank you guys for joining. As people come in, they can come in. A couple things first, some housekeeping things that I want to get out first. One of them is, guys, to make sure that if you have questions, feel free just to ask the questions. I have moderators that are in the stream that will actually answer those questions for you if I'm kind of tied up. I will answer those as well as I get to them. Don't repeat your questions. I actually don't think you can repeat your questions. I just recently moved to Hitbox.tv and exclusively streaming from this service now on, instead of some of the other sites that I stream from. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this fundamental gold making series. Hopefully things, you learn something. And before we get started, I'm actually going to do a quick poll. Poll is basically a very fundamental poll to tell me which experience that you currently have. What's your current experience level in World of Warcraft? So here we go. I'm going to do that now. You should see the poll appearing momentarily. There's the poll, guys. Take a couple seconds to look at that poll. Click which one that you honestly are. It's okay if you're brand new. It's okay that if you're average or beginner. I'm just trying to gauge what experience that we have in the stream that can help me answer questions if I don't know. Again, some house rules. If trolls come in, guys, I have equipped my moderators to just simply kick people out of the stream. I don't want any trolls that are here. We're trying to provide a fundamental series for people to learn in an environment that's cohesive to learning, so I don't even want to see people in the stream if they're going to cause issues, so just kick them out, guys. Another big announcement that happened to me today is I am now officially sponsored by Metallic Dice Games. I'm very excited to be sponsored by them, working on a lot of things. I've been talking with the CEO on quite a few things that we're going to be introducing. Obviously, there will be raffles in the near future for some of the dice that they make. They make metallic or metal dice as well as various resins. Here's an example of some of the dice that they provide. They're very affordable for the quality. So you have silver polyhedral type dice, antique copper, some nice brushstroke work. Come down to, if you like the resins, you actually have some cool combinations here to take a look at. They're on my website too, so if you go to my website, wildprofits.com, you'll see that I actually just made a post that entailed some of the recent events that took place. Me moving to Hitbox, me getting sponsored, and some other things that are coming down the road. So a lot of exciting things that are coming, guys. So I want to share all these things with you guys, the viewers, as I continue to now grow from the foundation up here on hitbox.tv. So you can see that information right there. If you're not following me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter at wildprofits. My website is wildprofits.com. Email is wildprofits@gmail.com. On Twitch, it's wildprofits. And if you go to Twitch now, you will now see a logo that actually redirects you to here. Basically says I've left. Please come here. I have 2,200 followers that are over there. I'm not going to message them and say come over here. It's their choice. If you do follow me actively on Twitter, you will realize that I am now streaming in this service. So you'll see that page. And I hope to see you guys here consistently. And hopefully you're continuing to enjoy what I'm doing for an instruction. So let's take a look here. Preach, Reverend Prophets. Let's give a little shout out to some of the folks that are in the stream. I'm now going to go drop the music down just faintly. The music will not be a part of this video series, so I'm going to fade that out now. Now you're just stuck with me talking, which is good. I don't want you guys twerking out or doing anything crazy on me while I'm trying to teach you guys. You can do that after. So a shout out to the stream real quick. We have the Right Hand of Prophets, Ashakura is here. These are my moderators. Ashakura, Goblin Rasset, Hammer Time, Harlequin. In the stream we have A Cubed, Arcanist, Article, Bane, Bumblejinx, Celtic. We have Cryan, also one of the lead developers for TradeSkillMaster here as well. Divilish, Cairo Gaming, SMG, Muffin Man, Wild Child. Some of them might be in and out. Again, this is a beta service that I'm currently streaming on, so you might see some funky stuff going on with the actual chat. That's being cleaned up in the next release, but right now, just out of the box in beta, I love Twitch, or I love Hitbox.tv. I gotta get used to saying that. I'm so used to saying Twitch and Ustream and Google Plus and all these other things. So now I have to retrain. So anyway, guys, here we go. Let's take a look at the poll here. I'm going to put that I am a beginner. I'm going to vote that I am a beginner. So if I do the vote, you can see, so we have quite a bit of a mix actually coming in here. You can actually see the folks. I'll move over the actual box here, and you can actually see we have 2 people that are brand new. We have 2 beginners. Myself, I'm listing myself as a beginner. We have 2 average, 1 expert, no masters, and we have 3 developers. So we have 3 very highly intelligent people that are in this stream that can that can help you as well. So if I say something wrong or if they have any updates, please feel free to chime in and correct me. Again, as a disclaimer, I'm not an expert on TradeSkillMaster, the add-ons. I functionally use it. I've gold capped with it. So I think that's credentials enough to say at least I know partially what the hell I'm doing. So I have some credentials. I wrote blogs on it. I have a video series on YouTube on it as well. So thank you, Cryan, for retweeting that as well. So we have, I know Muffin Man is a back-end developer. I know Cryan is one of the developers. I know Goblin Rasset has worked close with the developers, as well as some of the alpha and beta pilots. I want to be a moderator. You want to be a moderator, Muff? Maybe. It depends how you are at the end. I'll have to put you through a TradeSkillMaster fundamental foundation test. If you pass that, maybe you'll get moderator status. But really, guys, let's get started here. So thank you for all the retweets, guys, that are going out. So TradeSkillMaster is basically a series of add-ons that are developed to help you in the World of Warcraft. It helps you interact with the auction house, which the auction house is the commerce system in World of Warcraft where you buy and sell things between players. It allows you to do some crafting type functionality. It allows you to quickly buy and sell and relist rapidly. It allows you to do mailing functionalities and features. It allows you to group items intelligently, if you will. So when you do buy or sell, you can actually do things based upon a group. So we'll talk about that as we go through this. But real quick, how do we get TradeSkillMaster? So the official website of TradeSkillMaster is, you guessed it, TradeSkillMaster.com, guys. So you go to TradeSkillMaster. This is step number 1. You say, hey, I woke up today. I want to make gold. How do I do it? If you want to do it intelligently, you'll go to TradeSkillMaster.com and you'll download these add-ons. So when you go to TradeSkillMaster.com, you will be asked to actually do a profile, a quick registration. It's very quick. When you do that registration, check your email, so make sure that you enter a valid email address. Check your email, click on the link that will then authorize that your email is valid and will make your account active on TradeSkillMaster.com. So from here, you have the add-ons you can actually go through. There's overview, and this will actually walk through the core modules, the core official modules of TradeSkillMaster as an add-on suite, if you will. These all link to Curse, and I'll show you Curse in a minute if you want to actually be able to do that as well. So first, the modules. So you have the core module, TradeSkillMaster, which is like the heart of everything that functions from it. It's the core intelligence behind the actual add-on suite. And then they have supplemental add-ons that provide some efficiencies, if you will, to be able to do make decisions quicker, make decisions based upon pricing, thresholds, historical trending, what the values are of certain things over different factions, realms, zones. You do a lot of it. The TSM accounting module is actually a module that provides those things of statistics. So if you're a spreadsheet man and you like statistics, or gal, you can actually track what you actually did, what you bought, what you sold it for, did you make a profit. It does a historical thing, and we're going to do all that too. These are just high level going through. Additions provide some functionalities to be able to do some enhancements with the actual TradeSkillMaster add-on. AuctionDB is a pricing source that allows you to pull in market values, minimum and maximum, buyouts, averages, globals. Auctioning is basically a way of actually selling. So you think of auctioning, I want to sell something. Crafting is just that. It allows you to craft regardless of whatever your professions are in World of Warcraft. You can actually craft through this system, which has some very awesome functionality which will make decisions on what you should craft for profitability very easy. You'll see that as we progress as well. Destroying, you know, if you want to destroy people in PvE or PvP, you just click on this freaking module and it just destroys people in a radius. Not really, but this allows you to do some quick prospecting and mailing of items. If you have those types of professions like mining, you can prospect, or mining you can smelt, and if you have jewel crafting, you can prospect all sorts of stuff, enchanting, disenchant. That's what allows you for that module. Item tracking, mailing, mass mailing between based upon groups. Shopping is what you want to buy, so auctioning is selling. Shopping is buying. Warehousing and WoW auction, which is another price source. So from here, you would basically go and click on these download links, and they would bring you to what the add-on is directly at Curse. And then you can download now, or you can install through the Curse client. I recommend actually installing the Curse client first. When you install the Curse client, then you can actually pull it up like this. I am on Windows 8.1, so your application might look a little different from a client perspective on Curse, but it looks similar like this. Same functionality, if you will. You'll have what your current add-ons are. You'll have a way to get more add-ons. And to get TradeSkillMaster, you log in, you tell Curse where your World of Warcraft directory is, get more add-ons. I'm going to type in TradeSkillMaster. When you type that in, you'll get a list of all the actual add-ons for TradeSkillMaster. What I like to do from here is I want to make sure that I have all the core official modules for TradeSkillMaster. Now, there are some very intelligent developers that add supplemental add-ons to TradeSkillMaster, but I want to make sure that I have the core. And the way to tell that is you can right-click on the columns somewhere on your Curse client. Again, it could be different. Make sure that author is actually enabled. And when you do that, you can sort. And then make sure that you're at least installing the core modules that have SAP U94 and BART 39 on that list. Drethic as well. Those three will tell you that yes, it is an official sanctioned module. Additions down here, so at least SAP U and BART 39. Those are the official ones. Now you have Jellyfish or Shifty Warlock, and you have a bunch of other folks that actually created some really good add-ons, but they're not a part of the official core. So you want to make sure you can install as much as you want. I at least install the core, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 official add-ons that make up that core suite that we talked about. So you do that search, install, go through the installs. I think the cursor limits you to queue at least 2 or 3 installs per shot. So 3, 3, 3, you're all installed, done. Make sure you're installing with World of Warcraft closed. Anytime you update an add-on, World of Warcraft needs to be reloaded to pull in the information or the Lua backend code files to be able to read that add-on. There are some add-ons you can get that can actually disable and enable add-ons on the fly while in-game. It does require a restart. That's something that we'll talk about in another video. Specifically, we're talking about TradeSkillMaster for this video. So that's TradeSkillMaster and pulling it down from Curse. So now when you have TradeSkillMaster installed, that's the first step. The next step is you want to make sure that you're pulling in prices, because TradeSkillMaster again works on price sources. You want to make sure when you're looking at an item, you immediately know the value of that item, minimum and maximum averages based upon your realm and faction. It is realm and faction specific, zone specific as well. And that provides you the ability to make quick decisions on it, whether an item's good or bad, whether you want to vendor it or whether you want to sell it, and how valuable it is right off the bat. Where a typical person would see a green item, the colors of an uncommon item in the game, they'd look at it and basically say, this ain't worth anything, and they vendor it. When in fact that piece could have been a transmog piece that's worth anywhere from 250 gold to 5,000 plus. So you really got to know what's going on, and this add-on will allow you to make quick decisions like that based upon your configuration of TradeSkillMaster and the groups that you have set up. So where do we go from here? So to do the actual pricing information, I use an add-on from the same folks called TradeSkillMaster application. This allows you to actually pull in price sources, as I talked about, and it allows you to do some more statistical type information. I actually have a separate video exclusively talking about this, so I'm not going to talk about it too much today. I'll have links at the end of this video where you can actually buy, or not buy, but where you can get that information from on YouTube. So for right now, to get this application, all you have to do is go to Desktop App, go to Overview and Download, and here it gives you some information on what this actual desktop application will do. This application is separate from the in-game add-ons that we talked about before. So the 12 add-ons in-game you need to install, and then for pricing, backup capabilities and stuff, you want to install this desktop client or application that runs on your desktop. This is installed by going to TradeSkillMaster.com, clicking on the desktop app, overview, download. Read the information. It's really important what actually you can do from here. And then at the bottom, there's 2 links based upon your operating system. You have Windows and you have Mac. Pick your supposed OS. Click on Mac or Windows. When you do that, automatically it will download a zip file. When you download that zip file, use your native operating system compression or extraction tool to extract that. When you do, there will be one executable in there. Double click that executable and then it will launch this. Of course, it would be default. This you actually have to log into. You have to create an account. This account actually links to the TradeSkillMaster profile that you created as soon as you went to the site. So you should already be validated and be able to log in. When you click on it for the first time, you'll actually get a pop-up for their terms of service. Accept that. If you don't accept it, you're not going anywhere, and you can go back to the beginning of this video and start over. Otherwise, you'd come to this section. There's 3 tabs across the top. You want to make sure that you have your World of Warcraft directory selected wherever it is installed on your computer. Change it. Make sure that it's there. I recommend checking all 3 of these boxes if they're not checked by default. This will run the application at startup. It'll minimize it and put it in your system tray. System tray, lower right-hand corner of your window or your screen. And then from here, you have 2 buttons that you want to set up right away. One is Set Up Realms. When you click Set Up Realms, this will, again, bring you to the TradeSkillMaster website, which you already should be logged into. And then from here, again, it's Zone, Realm, and Faction specific. So click your zone. Let's say I want to add Area 52. I'm on Alliance, add Realm. When you add it, separate column for each realm. Make sure that you check off the prices, otherwise you will not get prices. Important thing here too, if you're not pulling down prices, one of the big mistakes sometimes that happens for beginners is this relates to actually curse add-ons. Pull that back up. So you want to make sure that when you have AuctionDB and WoW Auction checked, that you go to your curse client and you look for TradeSkillMaster and you make sure that AuctionDB, which relates to that checkbox, and WoW Auction is updated and installed, right? Because these, you need both ways to be able to pull that information. Check this periodically too, because I believe a release was just done today, I believe, from the developers, or at least I installed it today for some of the updates. So check curse frequently. I typically keep it up all the time, and it alerts me in the lower right when I have an add-on to update. Another important thing too is you notice this top line, there's no realm and there's no faction, and it's called global data. You want to make sure that you check these boxes too. This will pull in a wider array of pricing sources for global data that you want to use. So just go through all of these, check them off. If you made a mistake, just click remove, done, and these will automatically be pushed down to your client on the next polling cycle. So you can see as soon as I clicked it, hold on, this might be, I can give that to Carrie. I thought that might have been Blizzard Entertainment calling directly. No, it's my mom. So you can see as soon as I entered those checkboxes, automatically it says, all right, there's an alert. So this is kind of like a client-server type. This is a thin client, not to get too technical, but this sits here, sends commands back to the website's the intelligence, and sends information back down to your client. Where before it used to be all driven within the application, now it's actually moving more towards a portal solution, personalized for you, to be able to make your own decisions quickly. You saw how quickly that was when I added that realm. It's already pulling down pricing. Vice versa, if I remove it, it'll remove the pricing accordingly. All right, so that's that feature. There's also set up deal notifications. If you click that link, again, notice everything's driven off of the portal page. You'll go back to the website. deal notifications will come up. You pick your actual accounts, and then based upon your groups that have shopping operations, you can actually do notifications on them. You can send a web notification, which would send the notification to your deal notifications on this website, or you can actually do email notifications. And if you get an email, your email notifications look like this. Pull this over here. That's your email notifications, how it comes in from TradeSkillMaster.com. Gives you direct links as well. Gives you what you're currently looking for. It's under this threshold, 25 gold. So right away you're starting to build some intelligence of being notified out of game what's actually available in game for you to buy. Very important. These are all hot links. You click on those links, they'll bring you directly to TradeSkillMaster.com with pricing and global information on quantities, how many is available, minimum, maximum, and actually, this is actually new too. So they're constantly adding new features. So this is my TradeSkillMaster groups, what I currently have set up, which groups they're in, and the values of those items. And this is all trending information that we'll get to as well in this video. So that's that. Click on the buttons. Click, yes, don't want it, unclick. Again, make sure that you pick your account and your actual faction. It is account specific, faction specific, realm specific. So make sure that you do that. I only have a couple enabled that I currently get groups on. To the right is actually the number of items in those groups that you actually have currently. So right now I'm probably getting notifications on about 130 plus items that I want to have notifications on. And it's just as easy as clicking these automatically and you'll get notified periodically as it's pulled. It's pretty up to date, which is excellent. Also from this website, let me change my background over here. Seems like I have an issue with my green screen. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I can't have issues like that. It bothers me. There we go. So from this website too, there's actually some awesome functionality just here that you can use for the beginner or the advanced or expert. You can actually come here, and like we talked about, you can actually do at the top of button, at the top of the window centered, there's a search button. This actually gives you the ability to search for any item that's in the game, and if it's on the auction house, it'll pull up details of that information. Again, I have this in a separate video too, but I'm just going to highlight it here. So if we want to look for, let's just start typing. It has like an IntelliSense feature, or autofill as you start typing, it queries. And let's say we want to pull up, I don't know, sword. Let's see if this, one of these swords is here. This one? Test fire sword? No. Battered. Let's see if battered hilt is here. So here's the battered hilt. Again, gives you the information right from this site now. Gives you global information, minimum buyout, market value, the quantity that's on the auction house. This is times 20, so if you're looking at stacked items, it kind of does the math for you of what it is from that value perspective. Then it gives you price of the battered hilt, which is the blue at the bottom, the key, global market value, global minimum, and then global sale price. And then you see how it's spiking here. You can technically actually drag your mouse. You say, I want to see what happened in this time frame. Hold your left mouse button down, drag it over a period of windows here, as long as you want, and it will zoom in on that, and you can say, all right, on the 20th, something happened, and then you can see the price dip back down. Global sale price went up to kind of what the market value was, and then dipped back down over time. Reset zoom, same thing at the bottom, quantity. See, it went for a long time with just one, spiked up to 2, dropped back down. So you can actually zoom in on what happened there. Very cool, very useful tool. And there's another cool tool. If you click on Site Tools, it's a group maker. You click on that, and this will actually take anything that you want to create a list from, directly pasted from Wowhead or Wow Auction. So I can go to Wowhead, wowhead.com. A similar tool used to be out there called Slagit for those who are familiar with this. But I can go to, let's see, database. I want to look at weapons. I want to look at swords, items, weapons, two-handed swords. I could basically take this list, and this is just for example purposes only, and say I want to capture from required level only 83 to 84. And I want to take it by uncommon. I don't care what else it is. And then I want to filter. And then these are the swords that are there. I can actually copy this like this, just dragging it over. So it highlights that table. Control C for copy, or right click copy. Go back to here, right click paste, or Control V as in Victor. And it'll actually paste it in there. And notice at the bottom it actually created an import string of those item numbers automatically. So now you have the item numbers, and then you can translate that into groups in TradeSkillMaster for buying, selling, whatever you want to do with that. So very useful tools right on this site. There's gems all over the place, as well as you want to make sure that you support the efforts that's going on here. So I always make sure that you guys know this, that this is part of the consortium, so you can click the trade, the tools, go to donate, and it gives some information on it. And it helps the developers in a couple ways. One, for hosting costs, ad-free sites. Helps them continue to provide the add-ons that we need. I'm not being paid by them to do this. I'm on Donator as well because I really appreciate their add-on, and I use it every day. So my little $10 donation or whatever dollar donations you can provide, help them at least do something for the month. If anything, it bought Crying or Sapu or Muffing Man some coffee, did something, right? Motivated them to put in that next feature that we've been waiting for. So it goes directly to PayPal, secure links. Obviously, you can purchase their World of Warcraft Gold Making Guide, which I do own. It's over at stormspire.net, which is their called the Consortium. Great minds are over there. Tons of information coming out all the time. And they also have an IRC chat channel. So after this video, if you continue to have questions, site IRC chat. You can click on the IRC chat. It's a web portal. Type in your name. I own the planet, whatever. I think it has to be one word. So testing. Automatically types in hashtag TradeSkillMaster. That's the name of the channel, so don't change that. Type in your name, hit join chat, and that'll actually bring you right into the chats, which, as you can see, this is the folks that are in the channel. Bart39, developer. Crying, developer. Muffin Man, developer. Sapu, developer. All these folks are in here. Goblin Rasset, who's into my stream as well. Gold Making Extraordinaire, Mithril. Tons of people that make it. This is the TradeSkillMaster. They also have the Consortium, which is for general gold making, gaming, and so forth. 2 IRC channels that I highly recommend. I'm always in there when I'm at home, at least. I can idle in those channels, and I try to help out as well. So very valuable information. So plug yourself in, guys, and start making some gold. So that's the overview of how to get the TradeSkillMaster add-on installed, how to connect yourself to your own personal web portal on TradeSkillMaster.com. Download the desktop application, get the pricing rolling, and now all we need to do is start some in-game stuff with the add-ons that we installed, the 12 add-ons. So if you guys are ready, type 2-1 in the stream now. 2-1, and we will proceed. Need a break? Take a break. 2-1. Ashkur is ready. Cairo Gaming's ready. Still in denial. I want to be a moderator. What gives profits? Yeah. All right. So as you can see, let's go to a different auction house. I'm on Tichondrius, U.S. Horde, which is the highest populated realm in the U.S. So tons of people, tons of competition. So don't let anyone tell you just because you're in a high pop realm that you cannot make golds. I make gold every day. I might not be the highest earning on the realm, but I certainly make my share. And I only peck around a couple, less than an hour a day, and I make some easy gold doing that. So I'm going to do the video from this section over here, just because it's a little quieter. So when you install the application, you'll notice on your mini-map in the upper right-hand corner, to get to TradeSkillMaster, you have a button called TradeSkillMaster, or you can type in slash commands. Most add-ons have slash commands. So you can type /TSM TradeSkillMaster. You imagine that? Hit enter and it'll pull you up to the official TradeSkillMaster screen. The end results of this video will probably be looking something like this. When you click on the groups, you have a bunch of tabs at the top. These relate to the modules that we talked about that you can install through Curse. The groups, which is the second one, you'll probably be spending most of your time in this group and this group, module and operations. But this will actually give you a list of everything that you currently buy and sell off the auction house or do something with. For starters, and again, I have videos that break these down too, but just to explain it to the folks who are watching live now, TradeSkillMaster works off of groups. Without groups, in an auctioning fashion, it's basically a shell. So through groups, you create what I call containers of items that you want to do actions on or rules on based upon the items that are in that container. You have parent groups. These yellow ones are parent groups. Again, the coloring might be different. I'll switch mine to default color shortly, but just to show you so you can think end state, this is what it will look like. Groups have a hierarchy structure, which means there's a top level and then sub-levels underneath that, almost like a parent-child relationship. If you know coding, it's nested. I'm trying to throw out some key terms that might trigger, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. So top-level container, and then these gray ones are subgroups or subcontainers or parent-child relationship. It's inherited, which means if I create a group down here and I do nothing with how I want to do that group, but at the top level I add like I want to sell items in this group, all these subgroups will gain the operation or rule or action, if you will, on what the items are all in all these subgroups, unless I granularly specify in this subgroup that I want to do something different. So if you set the rules at the top level, every subgroup underneath that rule, every subgroup underneath that group, parent group, will do the same thing unless you tell the subgroup or the subgroup to do something different. So again, top level inherits everything below in that same group structure unless you tell it something different. Typically you don't do top level. It depends how your groups are set up. So here's another disclaimer. What I'm going to show you is the way that I do it. There's thousands of ways probably to do the same thing a different way. There's probably ways to do it more efficient. There's probably ways that aren't more efficient. There's probably ways that you can group more, but it's your TradeSkillMaster, so it has to make sense to you, and if it doesn't, then you're going to struggle with the add-on. You're not going to want to use it. You're not going to make gold, and you're just going to give up on gold making. So I really want you guys to make as much gold as you can through this series, if that makes sense. So parent, subgroup, parent group, subgroup. That's how I'm going to call it, parent group and subgroup. When you get down to professions, you can actually have, like this is an actual parent group, professions. Then I have an alchemy group. And then underneath the alchemy subgroup, I have a subgroup of crafts and subgroup of materials. So you can get as deep and complex as you want. You want to keep it kind of simple because you have to make sense of this overall. So if you do large groups and you keep nesting, you're just going to get lost and you're going to get frustrated. So I would highly recommend never go at least 2 groups deep, 2 subgroups, subgroup and subgroup. If you keep going deeper and deeper, I mean, I don't know. First of all, maybe one of the developers can chime in on that. I don't know how deep you can go from a group structure, but I would highly recommend not going any more than 2 deep, especially if you're a beginner. And it looks like 20 or 30. Let's see, how many? 20, 40, 60% of us watching right now are average or under. So I would highly recommend not going that low in your groups. All right, so again, groups have rules, or in TradeSkillMaster terms, operations. This group, if we look at 77 to 80, has items in it. These are all the green items. Some of them you're probably familiar with that you see if you're questing or if you come across them in game. These are the items associated with this group. These are the operations, or what I want to do with the items in this group. Notice this checkboxes. We'll talk about these as I strip my profile to default, but these are how you want to interact with this group. So when I auction or when I sell, it's going to use this rule. When I buy, it's going to use this rule. When I try to mail the item, it's going to use this rule. You guessed it, crafting, whatever. By default, it's all disabled. Nothing's going to apply to the groups. It's just a shell or a container of items waiting for you as the master of your own TradeSkillMaster to tell it what to do to make gold. So now let's get to actually creating these groups. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to set my default profile to what I'm calling a training 101 profile. So now when I do that, when I go back to groups, this is what your TradeSkillMaster will look like. You got no groups. You got nothing. No operations, no groups, completely zero. So I've actually been contacted by folks to say, hey, I watched your videos, I set it up, I know my way around TradeSkillMaster now, but what do I buy? How do I start making gold with this? Because, again, by itself, it's a tool that can take you to as much gold as you want based upon the amount of time that you spend in game. But you have to know some markets, and the markets are probably the toughest thing that you're going to learn. And you gain that through experience. These markets that I'm going to show you today, I didn't develop, I didn't make. I've learned them from fellow gold makers. I'm calling it your ancestry of gold making, of where you came from, your lineage, if you will. Everyone is a student of someone. So this is where I've learned from, and I've always said as I learn, I'm going to share freely what I learn. So here we are, TradeSkillMaster.com. Open that baby up. Let's talk through some functional stuff of what this actually does through the different groups. So right away, the TSM info gives you some basic information, again, based upon TradeSkillMaster.com, the website that we talked about. It shows you the module information, gives you a high-level one-sentence view of what it does. You can see that there. It tells you some of the TradeSkillMaster development teams, as we talked about on the Curse site, or if you go to IRC, you'll recognize the same names being used. SapU94, Bot39, Cryan, Drethic, Goblin Rasp who's in the stream, Mithradar, who I mentioned earlier. You guys probably know Fat Loots is another gold master as well. Wild Profits. Mom, that's me. Wild Profits. Past contributors, all sorts of information that you want to know, and you want to rub shoulders with these guys who are developers and those people who are hanging out in IRC, because you're going to get that much better, and you're going to keep getting tips and advice. You are who you associate with. So if you learn from those folks, you might find some cool tricks that you can apply to your realm in this easy and quick gold. So the options kind of gives you the ability to set, first of all, the tab. You can hide the minimap icon if you don't like it. I keep it there, even though every time that it's a click away, I'm a slash guy, I'm a command guy. So I'm always doing /TSM, even though I can just left click it. I don't know why, it's just built in. I'm quicker with the keyboard than the mouse, I don't know. So you can hide the minimap button if you want to. You can change some colors. You can forget certain characters if you want to erase pricing information and details. If you hover your mouse over any one of these, it gives you some tool tips, pop-ups on what it actually does. So the chat is actually where you want to send TradeSkillMaster information to as it communicates with you, any sales or any expired auctions that you'll actually see. This is the actual tab. I create a specific tab called Sales that I have all my TradeSkillMaster stuff going to. So you can have that set up by anything. By default, it'll go to your general, so you don't have to do anything. By default, it's going to send you the information. It's just, if you want to be a little cleaner or you want your windows to be certain parts of the screen, you'll send it there accordingly. From here, you can do, what's the default tab you want to go to? So this is related to the auction house. So when I go to auction, open it up, notice it automatically comes to my shopping tab. And that's based upon that setting right there. I want to go to my auctioning tab. You can go to any tab you want. I have it go to auctioning because I buy stuff a lot. I buy and I sell. That's what I do. So that's that. You have some features at the bottom. You'll probably notice that your screen might not be the same as mine. It might be kind of the gray default look. Kind of looks like this bar right here. I have a customized theme that I did. And you can actually import themes here if you wanted to. So I have a default theme that I created. There's also some default preset themes that are in here. I don't know if they still work, but several people created them from times past. So you can create those too. If you want to create your own, you can import You change these settings, change the colors, text. You can export it if you want to share your theme with a friend. I actually have mine exported too, and we'll talk about that as well. Profiles, this is a way to actually be able to change your group structure and how you use TradeSkillMaster based upon IDs. So here's a profile that I created. My default one, notice it's instant. I go back to my groups, there's all my groups. If I go back to profiles and I create a new one, groups are gone. So it gives me the ability to be able to create on-the-fly profiles if you want to have them different per guy or per group or per realm or whatever you want to do. I only run two, our main, my default, and this one only for training purposes. If you have ones you can copy, you can delete. If you want to create a new one, just left-click in there, type a name, and it would automatically create it. As you do it, it's going to automatically reset TradeSkillMaster for you. So make sure that you know what you're doing, that you're in here. You never want to reset your profile and your default because you'll lose your group structure and bad things will happen, and you'll blame the application. Custom price sources, the ability to be able to enter advanced TradeSkillMaster modules. I'm not going to get into this. One, I don't use it a lot. I know people that use it a lot. I'm not a math person. I gold cap without doing math. Let's put it at that. But you can do very flexible custom price sources that allows you to group structures together based upon sources, selling, craftable prices. I mean, it gets ridiculous on the amount of stuff you can do for pricing. We'll talk a little bit on pricing as we start getting into some of the groups. So that's the first tab. The second tab, again, is the groups. Again, by itself, TradeSkillMaster does absolutely nothing to the auction house unless you tell it it's in a certain group. It runs on groups. TradeSkillMaster runs on groups. TradeSkillMaster runs on groups, right? So that's going to be blank. Operations, it has the operations or their business rules or group rules that you want to apply to those groups that you created. Auctioning, selling, crafting, mailing. You want to send it to whoever. You can actually send bulk group items to folks. Your alts if you want to. Shopping as you want to buy. Warehousing, same type of thing. I don't do a lot of warehousing, so I'm not really going to touch a lot on that right now. But it allows you to move stuff in and out of your bags real quickly. We will talk about Bank UI, which is a nice feature too, that gets you what you want to do, your inventory quickly, in and out of your bags, and back to selling stuff on the auction house as soon as you can. With this, before we get into tooltips, there's actually a cool assistant too that they developed. If you type /TSM assist, notice it brings up this TSM assistant, which is movable. You can move it any way you want. So it's /TSM space assist, ASSIST. That will pop up this assistant right here. This is actually cool too, and this is a feature that they just implemented a couple of revs ago. Probably has been in for, I don't know, a couple months now. But this, if you know nothing about TradeSkillMaster, this intuitive wizard, if you will, or assistant, will walk you through some of the fundamentals that you probably are struggling with right now. And it does it cleanly, step by step. I mean, it's very hard to fail. I've used this just to test out some of the things that I've been doing to make sure that I'm doing them based upon the way it should be done, and then also for some crafting stuff, which I'm still getting into the crafting modules. As we said, there's 12 modules, so don't get so confused as a beginner to say, oh man, I gotta learn 12 modules to freaking buy and sell in the auction house. No, use them as you need to based upon what you're doing. If you craft a lot, then yeah, using the crafting module makes sense. If you buy and sell, auctioning and shopping, definitely. But there's so much to it. Use it as you need it. Otherwise, just leave it installed. And then as you grow and mature, you'll continue to grow into those modules. I don't use them all. I've been doing this for a couple of years. I don't use them all. But this actual TSM assist will say, I want to buy items from the auction house, right? Let's just use that as an example. You can click buy items from the auction house, and it's a wizard that walks you right through. How would you like to shop? Set up a TSM to find cheap items on the auction house. Search the auction house for items to buy or advanced topics. I'm going to say I want to search the items. It says, all right, go to the auction house and open it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's this simple, guys. So I go to the auction house and I open it. Notice right away it changed to the next step. So it says, all right, I know that you opened the auction house. Now we want you to do this. So it says underneath the search bar at the top, here's the search bar. at the top, click on the shopping. Oh, here are we? Hold on. Yeah, I'm on the shopping tab. Underneath the search bar at the top, under the shopping age tab. Let me move this over a little bit so you can see. Close this down. Shopping tab. Handful of buttons which change what's displayed on the sidebar. Click on the custom filter one. Custom filter. Click on that sidebar. Notice again how it says, all right, I know that you did that. Now what am I going to do? Now it's going to say, all right, you can search in the sidebar built-in auction house searches. Well, we're going to talk about searches because I like to do these a lot. And you can type directly into the window. So you can type directly in, or you can actually start building searches. I'm not going to show you how to do this now because we're going to talk about it in a couple minutes. But based upon this, it will actually search for items directly, and it'll give you the actual search criteria or search term up here automatically that you can save. So the next time you come in, you don't have to repeat it. Let's stop that poll and get that poll out of the way. So that's that. TradeSkillMaster or TSM Assist. Again, it does quite a few things, very simple. So if you forget something, you don't want to go back through this tutorial, or you don't want to watch other YouTube videos, you just want to do something real quick. TSM space assist. It'll bring up that window, follow that wizard, and it'll bring you right to it. So let's go to the auction house, open it up, and this is what the baby looks like. Look at how pretty that is. Look how pretty the auction house is. It's awesome. So again, I have a default going to the shopping tab. Yours might be defaulted to the browse tab or bids. Your UI might look a little different. Your user interface. I have add-ons installed which make my UI, ElvUI, look like this, so it's transparent. Yours might be the default Blizzard UI. Don't get scared, that's okay. The tabs are still the same. Browse, bid, auctions, auction DB, auctioning, and shopping. You should validate that you have these tabs because this will show you, yes, you have TradeSkillMaster installed with the right add-ons. These three tabs. Auction and DB, auctioning, and shopping. So from here, again, I don't know what to buy. I'm on the auction house, I don't know what to buy. Close that down, click on the mini-map button. Click on the second button called Groups. And now we're going to create some groups. We'll get into these other add-ons as we go through. Again, these are all based upon the modules that we installed. But right now, let's create some groups. Let's get you guys up and running with one group, at least, that you can buy and sell right off the bat. So here, we're going to create a simple group. And we're going to call them gems. So to create a group, left-hand column is you want to highlight where you want to create it. We're at the top level. This will get important as you start getting subgroups or parent groups. You want to make sure that the left column is always clicked on where you want to create the group. You'll see here, if I create test, I'm not paying attention and I'm still in the top one, but I wanted this to be a subgroup, and I do test again. Notice it's going to create where I wanted that underneath this group. So we want to pay attention here. I'm going to delete this group. So we're going to call this moss agates. Again, these are very fundamental groups that I'm just walking you through just to show you as an example. After this video, I will share you this link. And this link is actually I'll paste it in chat right now. This is what I put together, and these are what I actually buy and sell on the auction house as I walk through it. Again, there's many ways you can actually make gold. These are the gold things that I stick to. So save that link right there. Make sure that that's coming up. Yep. Make sure that that's okay. I don't know if it actually posted it. Did it post it? Trying to find my which one's actually live here. Hold on. Keeping that shot. So this is the actual. Will it post that? It's not posting my link. I think I already posted it before. That's kind of funny. Well, welcome new guys who actually came to the stream. Since I've been talking, I've been going on and on. But again, if I don't get to your questions, I'm sure someone will actually get to your questions as soon as they can. let's get that actually out of the way. I'm actually recording this simultaneously locally as well on my desktop. So if it gets a little crazy, if you experience any lag, it might be because of that. Because I thought I actually terminated this poll. Let me shut this poll down again. Oh yeah, stop poll. There we go. And now it's gone. I had too many windows up. I actually had myself duplicated on my stream. But this is actually where I keep my posts right here. There's the link. You should now see that link now. So this is, again, fundamental. I have it set up like a book format. As you stroll through this, it might not make sense to you yet, because we have these numbers and group structures. Will actually create what we're going to be talking about in a couple of minutes automatically for you. I do go through this periodically and update it, but it has all the groups that I actually buy and sell from. I just added the Dark Moon Fair about page 9. It has my buying, my selling operations. It has my theme, my color theme, if you wanted to copy that in. But we'll talk about importing and exporting shortly. So let's say we wanted to create a group for moss agates, right? Because moss agates is a very good seller. So I'm telling you this group because I make a lot of gold off of this group. If I pull up just real quick my accounting tab, and I do resale, and I do, where's moss agates, you can see I typically buy them and sell them. I've sold 99 so far, bought 100, and the last sale that I actually bought was from moss agates, and I sold them a stack of 20, 850 gold. So you can sell a lot based upon groups that you set up, and that's the importance. And this accounting module, since we're in it, will actually keep track of statistics, what you buy, how much you bought it, how much time you had it, relisted it, expenses, failed auctions, items, summary, gold, whole bunch of stuff that you can share. If you bought something on the auction house, you can, and you resold it, it keeps track of what you bought it and what you sold it for. For instance, I bought this for 600 gold. I flipped it for 45.15. After the auction house, 38.65. So I made 595% profit on that sale. So that's very cool. That video that just came up is my TradeSkillMaster desktop application video. It's 30 minutes exclusively spent on the TradeSkillMaster application, this application right here. So you want to bookmark that and bookmark my YouTube page, which that will bring you to, or you can watch it in line. So back to the groups. Left click on this group. I'm going to call this moss agates. Again, name the group. The group's important because you want to name it something that you're going to remember. Again, this is only an example group. Typically you wouldn't have like one item in one group. You'd have multiple items, so you can actually call this like jewelry if you wanted to, or raw gems. Let's call it raw gems. So when you do this, you're going to click OK or hit enter, and there's this checkbox that's defaulted here. If you're going to be creating a lot of groups, you want to uncheck this. You'll see the difference here. If I uncheck it and I hit OK, it keeps me right here. Then I can do crafted gems. It is, you can have white spaces, capital letters, lowercase, doesn't really matter. Notice I can keep creating my group structure based on how I want to create my groups. Let's delete this. Delete this. Left click, raw gems. By default it's checked. And now when I click OK, it will bring me into what I want to do with this group. What are the items in the group? And what do I want to do with the group when I interact with the auction house? Do I want to buy from it? Do I want to sell from it? Do I want to craft from it? Blah, blah, blah. So operations are actions you want to do against the items that are in this group. That's operations. Items, I got nothing in it. I got nothing. So as you stop progressing and getting items and stuff, you see items, you can actually import, or you can make items right away. Brian posted his bags. I can actually post that, and I'll actually show you right away, which is kind of cool. So these are Cryan's bags. If you click on that, that's kind of a serious. Can you tell like what professions he's in? His Cryan's bag is one of the developers of TradeSkillMaster. So he has a lot of raw gems right there. Raw gems, a couple cuts. Actually, they're all cuts. Yep, all cuts. Some enchants. Shoulder enchants. some serious coin ammo. Look at all these primals. I'm like almost drooling and stuff. We'll have to talk after. I got some copper for you if you want. Yeah, it might be depressing. But as you start working with TradeSkillMaster, you can rapidly fill your bags up by just simply clicking a button, and it'll actually create, based on the groups that you want to create, real quick, automatically for you. Very cool. Yeah, I stripped off the question mark 2 on that, so it brought it up automatically. So I actually don't have a moss agate. So the cool thing is now, how do I actually get an item? I want to add moss agates to raw gems, right? Somehow I have to add groups. I don't have any in my bags. If you had them in your bags, it's very simple. All you have to do is just click on the item, and you have 2 columns here. These are the ungrouped items that are currently in the parent group, which is this group right here. Everything that's in here I have right here. On the right side are actually group items in that group. So right now I have no raw gems in here. I don't have it in my bags, so how do I actually get it? You can do this 2 ways. The way that I like to do it is you can either go through Wowhead, or you can go directly to the auction house and you can actually click it. There's add-ons you can actually do. It will actually give you the link. Let me see if I actually still have the add-on installed. Yeah, so I have an add-on called Linkopedia, or Linkepedia, one of those things. We can actually type /link. I'll show you this at the bottom. Let me move my window here. Let's see. It's not locked. Get off this. Drag it over here. Oh, can you see it? Bum, bum, bum. Just make a real window real quick. Hold on. That's weird. It actually won't let me keep that window. One moment. One moment. Rename. Let's actually just do this. Watch. This will be quick. There we go. Watch this. I'm going to remove the camera. Remove that. Here we go. I'll drag this over here. And there's a way that you actually type /link. Should be able to see this. Lower left /link space and then the item. So I'm going to call it moss agate. And you actually see that it actually brought up moss agate as a linkable. So you can actually go into the group if you so choose in the item tab, and you can actually add this item to it from that linkable through importing. So importing allows you to know pricing, not pricing, but item number, name, and it'll allow you to do those imports. So if I click on this and I shift left click on that, notice it actually brings it up here, almost like you're searching on the auction house. And if I hit OK, if I go back to my items, notice moss agate is there. Very cool, right? So that's a way to quickly add it if you're not familiar with that. Again, the add-on is called Linkopedia. Let me make sure that's the right one, since we're talking about stuff like that. Bring it up. Just bring it up. I got too many freaking windows open. It's getting serious up in here. Close that out. Let's close that out. I got like 5 browser tabs open. 16 pop-up windows. So anyway, that adds those features to it automatically. And then the Curse client, the add-on that I use is Link something. I think it's, yeah, Linkepedia. And very cool. That allows you to do /link space and then any type of wildcard that you want. I can type in sword or battered and then bring up battered hilt. So I could do dragon, and it would bring up something with dragon in it. Good for anything, and then you can add and make your groups the way that you want them automatically. You can go to Wowhead, you can look up the price information, you can go to TradeSkillMaster, look it up, copy that item number from Wowhead like we showed before, copy the column, paste it in, and it'll give you the item number. This is kind of the quickest way. So from a high level, we have a group now, and then we have an item in that group. Items in a group without operations do nothing. Items that are in a group without operations do nothing. They're just nicely organized, pretty shiny pieces of sellables that are just staring at you, waiting for you to tell it what to do. So here we want to say, all right, in my raw gems, I have moss agates. What do I want to do with moss agates? Well, first I want to make an actual shopping. I want to buy moss agates. The process that I use 95% of the time is called flipping. What that means is I'm buying things from the auction house that are at a certain price or percentage, and I'm reselling for a higher percentage. You think about the real estate market. People buy houses, condemned, foreclosures, buy them, fixer-uppers, flip them to make their money more, double, triple, whatever their money. Same thing. That's what I do. So my gold making, how I gold capped was exactly that. Buying off the auction house, selling. So this was my process. I would buy in the auction house at this auctioneer. I'd buy based upon certain groups, which I'll share with you today, or based upon that document that I did. I'd buy them. I might do a little dance here. I'd turn around. I'd go to the mailbox. You guessed it. I'd pick the items out of the mailbox. I might do a little dance. I might do a little camera angle, look at my transmog. Hey, what's up, guys? And then I would go back to the auction house. And then I would relist them, whatever didn't sell, and then I would buy more. Did you catch that? I'm at the auction house. I'm going to buy. And again, you guys probably saw it's all in the angle now, because if you want to talk about efficiency, when you're buying stuff in the auction house, it's the angle that you click back that's going to help you become gold capped that quicker. So I'm going back to the kicking up the items out of the mailbox, loading up my bags with good loots. The angle, see the angle that I turn allows for some minor gains in efficiency when you go back and forth in the mailbox. That's what you'll be doing for a little while with my method. Back, forth, back, forth. That's it. Can you consider those people another way to make gold is through professions. Very, very profitable. So these are additional ways that can make funds or gold flow in as much as you want based upon how often you want to get it. Gold farming, people like to farm certain spots for cloth, leather, mats, materials, rares. That's another way of farming as well. It all comes down to time and how efficiently you want to make gold. Yep, flip. That's exactly what it is. 180-degree flip kick. Skateboarding joke, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Goblin Rassus Lane. What? He's probably like, what the hell is he talking about now? So anyway, oh, there's the thing. I still have a tab over here. How do I get to this window now? That's pretty scary. I have like this tab somewhere that I can't find. Let's see if I can do it this way. There it is. That was scary. Just delete that. Next thing you know, you'll see up on my screen, people will be swearing at me like, you're an Alright. So that's gone. Back to the auction house. You can have them both up at the same time. So here's the actual auction house open. Here's TradeSkillMaster open. So they work in windows or layers. You can have this open. You can have this open. You can be doing stuff on the fly. If you're doing craftables and stuff like that, you can actually craft while you have this open. And then when you're done crafting, repost right away. That's what I like doing. Your crafting window will look a little bit smaller. So you can have the crafting window open. You can have TradeSkillMaster open, editing and fly, editing and editing prices on the fly, adding things in between groups, changing prices, relisting over here, going back to crafting, going back to your TradeSkillMaster. You can do crazy stuff like that. But anyway, moss agates. So here's the search function in moss agates. You can type in moss agate. Just hit enter. I'm just going to do a search real quick for you and say, all right, these are all the moss agates that are coming up on the auction house. Hey, what's up, Big Hoss? How are you, man? Once moss agates comes up, TradeSkillMaster gives you some knowledge or some item information. Right away, it gives you some market percentage of market value of what items are sold for. So you can see here in this last column, price per item. If you right-click on that, it'll be price per stack. You can sort. All these columns are sortable. Right-click, per stack, per item. Get the prices. If you hover your mouse over any item, whether it's in your bag or linkable or whatever, TradeSkillMaster, again, through its knowledge of pricing information and source information from the auction DB, from TradeSkillMaster and from WoW Auction, it gives you prices from a minimum, maximum, or minimum, average, medium range. It also keeps track of what you last bought the item for, so it's a quick way to say, all right, I bought an item for 10 golds, and it's currently listed for 14. Can I technically sell it for 14 and make a profit? Yes. You won't make a lot of profit, but it is a profit. Anything above 1 copper to me is a profit. So from here, you can actually get some prices. So I don't have any of these items, so we have to shop for them. So the average, if I hover over this, and this gets into a little bit of math, I'm not going to explain a lot about it. This becomes easier as you know prices for certain items automatically. You'll know that a moss agate typically sells for 25 to 40 gold, and this is 14. If you don't know that, let TradeSkillMaster work for you and say this is 55% of the market value. So if I bought this and I sold it, I would make what, 45% profit, minus auction house maybe 43, 42, whatever. So I'm going to buy this one item here just to say. You can actually left click it, buy it, pop-up window comes out, bought. Your general window will say yes, you bought a moss agate for 14 gold. If you wanted to continue to buy them, you can keep buying them. Yeah, I'll buy another one. I'm going to buy this one. I'm going to buy this one. TradeSkillMaster has, see this 5 things here? TradeSkillMaster has a built-in way we can actually map your middle wheel mouse. I'm using a Razer Naga. Your middle wheel mouse to actually interact with these windows for TradeSkillMaster. When that happens, you can actually, instead of clicking on here and then buying out, yes, here, buy out, yes, or just buy out, and as it scrolls down the list, you can hold down your control key and then just wheel mouse, it actually mass buy. Let's set that up real quick. TradeSkillMaster /TSM or the minimap button, TSM at the top. Hold on one second, guys. It's time to order food. Yep, sushi. Goblins wrote sushi. The chef goblin. Big Hoss, number 13, with wonton soup on the side. All right. When you come into here and you go into auctioning, so /TSM or minimap, click on this. Looks like bolts. Looks like what are those? Engineer bolts. Click on the auctioning tab. And then in your window, you'll have what's called Create Macro and Bind Wheel Mouse. All you have to do is click that a couple times. It's defaulted to Control. Click that a couple times so it actually binds it. I say a couple times just so it binds it without any issues. There's never been an issue, but OCD, I click things a lot. That's why I probably buy stuff that I don't use. Cairo Gaming number 8, no egg rolls, add crab rag going on the side. Thank you very much. Okay. So once that's done, what you will be able to do with some addition, actually, if you go /M for macros, look how pretty that is, macros. This is my macro, and I add a couple different buttons. That will allow you to actually buy and sell or post things. There's a couple extra ones you can do. It's actually in that document, but let's see if this will allow me to do this. Macro for binding wheel mouse. I'm going to type this in the stream, see if it actually works. No, because it's coming up as... I'll do it this way. I'll take out the forward slashes. Is it actually coming up? It's not coming up for me. Am I not typing? Type these. I'm going to type it in chat right now. You'll probably be able to see it there on screen too, but... Click. There it is. So type these. You'd put a forward slash before every time it says click. So you forward slash click, 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 click. Put them on separate lines. And that allows you to rapidly buy, sell, buy out items like this. So now notice that there's 4 items that are there. I can actually left click on it. And without even doing anything, I can hold my control key down. One scroll brings up the window. One scroll buys. Buy, 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 buy. And if I wanted to, I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy, buy, done. You have to be careful because this can get you into a lot of trouble fast if you're doing scroll crazy. You're holding down your control key and you're scrolling your wheel and you're like, hey, what's up? You're talking on your phone and you got your freaking iPhone like this. Hey, what's up, Dad? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's going on? You're scrolling your wheel and your money's going. Next thing you know, you get a red pop-up from TradeSkillMaster. Yeah, it has happened to me. You get a red pop-up from TradeSkillMaster or from the native UI basically saying you don't have enough insufficient gold. Now you have 7,000 items in your mailbox and no way to actually list them. Exactly. So Chef Goblin Rasta said the same thing. Spent 20,000 accidentally on Golden Lotus because I was scroll happy. It does happen. I buy stuff sometimes all the time and I don't realize it because I'm just so fast and I only wanted one and I would buy a stack. Or, you know, just go scroll, scroll, scroll. Or you would scroll into craftables. When we talk about items for gear or armor, I typically don't buy craftable items. You would scroll and you would buy a craftable item by mistake, or you would buy stupid 21s that you're going to sit on for the rest of your life that don't sell. So we bought some items now, right? Again, the only thing that we set up in TradeSkillMaster so far was just a group. Group is not intelligent right now and only has moss agates in it. Again, notice the path, guys. See that angle? You do it slow. What was that? $6 Million Man? You go from here. You can actually, TradeSkillMaster has a great mailing feature. If you look up above here, you can actually only take sales. You can only take using these buttons at the bottom. You can open all mail, which will fill your bags up based upon what you have in there, whether it's expired, sales, what you bought. Or you can do special ones to say, I only want to take the ones that I just bought. I only want the moss agates, not these expired ones. So I'm going to take buys. And notice it's going to exclusively take just the ones that I just bought. And let's keep all the expired ones there. Very cool. You can do that for sales. You can do that for buys, cancels, and expires. So now I have 15 moss agates that are sitting in my bag. What am I going to do with those? If I come to TradeSkillMaster and I do underneath an auctioning tab, again, 2 tabs that you're probably going to be in most frequently is auctioning and shopping. So if I come to the auctioning tab now, because I want to sell these, it's going to say, hey, you don't have any groups. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing here? If you hit start scan, it's going to say, I got nothing to sell. Because you don't. So TradeSkillMaster or /TSM. Go into the groups. Click on groups. And now underneath the default operations tab, we want to say, I want to make up a shopping tab. I know that I was able to buy them for a certain amount of price. So I'm going to go to shopping first. And notice there's nothing here. I have no operations. If you had operations, you'll see the list of them by clicking on this drop down. By default, it's going to set up the no operation. Oh, look at this. I got something from Bain. Ooh. Got something from Bain in the mail for my donation. So you can click on the shopping one. I just want to see what this is. Whoa, it's handcraftable. Let's see what it is. Oh no, is it something I can wear? I love getting gifts. You guys can send me gifts anytime. I'm going to open it up right here. You're going to see it live. I multitask a lot, guys, so you're going to see a lot of stuff that I do. And the cool thing is I don't get sidetracked. You might think, oh, I might forget, or I might not forget it, or whatever. But this is very cool. So I got a keychain from Bain 1271 on Twitch, or Bain Blackstar in this stream. But it actually has two Wild Profits, thank you Bain B Star. It has a little like rune symbol on it. Very cool. Thank you very much. I'll add that to my collectibles. I also have one that I got recently too for gaming for a cause, or for a cure. Play games for a cure. Play games for a cure. Gaming for multiple sclerosis. My buddy Gaming MS over there. I'll add that to that list too. Thank you very much, Bain. If you're here and you're listening, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a Hearthstone. That's pretty cool. Handmade. She makes a bunch of trinkets and jewelry like that. Very cool. Honored. All right. Click on this create shopping operation. This will bring you to a new window. Don't get scared. Your Windows just didn't crash. You're not in a desert alone. We're here to help you. So from here, like the groups that were blank, now you're in an operation that's blank. You have nothing here. Like we did with the group, you have to name it. Now this is very important. When you name the group, name it something that you know what's in the group before you even open it and look at the items. When you're actually doing an operation like shopping, name the shopping operation so you know what it's used for. So here, raw gems. I typically call it the same thing. Raw gems. You can put spaces. You don't have to put like shopping raw gems, because this will be, as you can see by the tabs, they're in exclusive sections already. So shopping raw gems. When you click OK, it's going to ask you, well actually when we go back to the group, watch this. So there's the actual operation. We created one now. When you create the shopping operation, it's going to say, all right, what do you want to actually have for the minimum price? We know that we bought them at 55% for 17 gold. So I typically buy them for, and you see there's, if I do a G, notice it turns to gold. If I do an S for silver, you guessed it. If I do a C for copper, it's copper. You always want to make sure you have the letter at the end to designate the currency type. So I'm going to say, show me anything that's just for educational purposes, not for this. You guys should probably enter 15 gold. I'm going to enter 35. I'm going to enter 40 gold just to show what's actually there. So I'm going to do 40G. And then from here, we're going to go back to our groups. You're going to click on raw auctions. And then under the shopping tab, you want to hit the drop down. And then now there's your raw gems. Click on that. And now you actually created what we can actually buy them for. So here's a cool trick. So now we're going to go to the auction house, and instead of actually doing a search, we can go to the shopping tab, you can click on this other, or you can actually click on TSM groups, sorry. So shopping, TSM groups, second button right at the top, and there you'll see your actually groups. All your groups will be listed here if you have a shopping operation attached to them. Now you just hit start search, and it would automatically enter, like we had to type moss agates before, it automatically searches based upon the pricing that you set up. That simple. Harlequin, ladies and gentlemen.
It's that freaking simple.
Harlequin TV. We're starting like a cult here, see? Bald. Bald. Is it liberating? I mean, doesn't it make you feel like you're a
It
new
makes
man?
me feel like Shane of Walking Dead. I want to put an axe in someone's head.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
You know, you shave your head, you shave your armpits, maybe you shave other parts. I don't want to know.
No.
But it makes you a new person.
We
Look at Goblin Rass.
both know Goblin shaves down nether regions. We all know
Yeah,
that.
Goblin Rass is
That's
like-
an established fact. I just want to put that out there. That's an established fact.
Goblin Rass is like, where's your hair? You didn't see that? We tweeted it out the other day that
I know.
we went shaved it out. Yeah.
We were going to take donations and no one, it was too much for people.
It was
so
probably
we-
too late. I mean, some of you guys are probably in bed already. You had your warm milk, you're in bed. And
The cookies and milk. And,
Yes,
it's
they were
all
too
right.
late, but-
It's all right. Not everyone can be all pro like Prophets and I.
that's right.
Not everyone can be all pro.
Once you shave, once you go bald, you're not going back.
the girls love it.
The girls love it.
Milk was like, I'm getting a one-way ticket. Harl, put the clean sheets on the bed. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all
that's
he
it.
said.
It was a little
That's all-
crazy.
Yeah.
But actually, I shaved because when I shaved, I noticed that my sales from TradeSkillMaster went up 120%. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to see pictures of you guys all tweeting me out. Hey, Profits, I shaved and I'm not getting that 120% increase in sales. No, that actually won't happen. But anyway, so here's the group. We did a search in that group, and it's going to show specifically what is under that price range or under. Now, if we did one, and I did it specifically for 40 gold, so you can actually see results because we bought the ones that were 17. But you can do /TSM or minimap. If I go back into the groups, I always start with the groups for some reason. You could go directly to the shopping operation. I don't do it that way. I always train myself to say it's coming from a group. So I click on the groups, operations. I want to adjust or modify that price. Click on the button. Brings up 40 gold. From here you can say, all right, now let's drop it to, I'm going to drop it to 20 gold. Hit enter or the OK. This checkbox will actually automatically tell you what's actually above the price, so you can make a decision. Let's say there's one for 21 gold. You might want to see it and buy that still. So you can check this box, hit OK, do another start search, and it still shows the same results because we have that checkbox.
Goblin has a question.
If I uncheck it, yeah, he's answering that.
Oh.
If you uncheck this group, uncheck this box, now it's going to show 20 gold or less, which there shouldn't be any because the cheapest one is 38. Hit OK, start search, no results. Cairo Gaming, my import of items won't work. Are the items already in another group? Yeah, if they're in another group, you can actually tell if they're in your bag, Cairo Gaming, you hover over your mouse. In the bag, it'll tell you in the tooltip which group it's actually in. So the C- says raw gems. So you can actually say, if it says nothing, then it's not in a group. If it says something, then it's actually in a group, and you can find it and move it out of that group. Or move it to another group. Alright, so that's our first official group that we're going to shop from. So we shop from, now we want to sell. So now we're going to go to /TSM. We're going to click on the groups button, little crystals. We're going to left click on the raw groups, operations automatically. Now we want to go to auctioning, create auctioning group. We want to call this raw gems. I'm going to click OK. When you click OK, you're going to get a pop-up saying, do you want to associate the shopping or the auctioning group that you just created to the group that you're in? And you want to click yes. And now it links to two. So So if I go back to the group and I click raw gems, you'll see now it automatically associated raw gems. If per chance it didn't and it still says no operation, you can just click raw gems from the drop down. Click view options. Now this is where it gets fun, because this is where it has a lot more tabs. As you know, shopping, you only basically give me a price and I'm going to buy that price or under. When you sell stuff, you have a little bit more options. So the general tab is, I typically keep it where it's at. I don't mess with anything in the general tab. There's a way to actually blacklist players. There's a way that you can whitelist players, competition, friendly competition. I keep all these the same. The post tab is where I typically do all my stuff from. So in the post tab, this is where you say how the duration of it. I typically keep mine for 24 hours and it's defaulted. If you're doing stuff, posting a lot, you don't have a lot of golds, you can do 12 hours. You know, it costs you a little less, but you have to manage more inventory out of the mailbox. A couple more trips from the mailbox to the auction house and vice versa. If you do 48 hours, it's going to be on the auction house longer, but it's going to cost a little bit more. So I think the percentage tiers are different based upon the duration. Post cap, it's going to default to 1. This is how many of the same items that you want in the auction house at any time. So you can keep that to like 20 if you want to keep 20 of the same items. If they're a green or a gear item, I typically keep these around 3. If it's a blue item or something really rare, I keep it at 1. So I'm going to keep it here at 1. And then for stack size, if it's stackable, this is where you'd select that. You can change this to 20. You can keep it to 1 if you want. You can check this off to say use stack size as cap, 20. So I'd keep these default. Keep the 24 hours default for now. You don't have to mess with that. Keep 1. Keep stack size 1. We'll show you how we're going to deal with that a little differently. Keep on quantity. Let's say you always want to have quantity on your hands. You don't want to always post something. You can change that. Bid percentages. There's always a bid and then there's a buyout. This is the percentage that you want the bid to be. I typically keep this like 95%. So you delete that, type 95 with a percentage. And it basically says if I'm posting at 100 gold for a buyout, 95 will be the minimum bid. So if someone wanted to do bids, I never bid on something unless it's super cheap. I never post things expecting to get a bid. I post them for a buyout price. Undercut bid, undercut amount. So currently it's set for 1 copper. This is all a preference. By default, you don't have to change this at all. This basically means if someone posts it for 10 gold, you'll undercut that 9 silver, 99 or 9 gold, 99 silver, 99 copper. You'll undercut it by 1 copper. Change this to anything you want. I know some people don't like to undercut by a copper. You can change it to 1 silver, whatever. I keep it 1 copper because I think it's a beautiful thing. When you undercut someone by 1 copper and you get the sale and they don't. Too bad. So that's that. Minimum price, maximum normal. This is the important part. This is what you're going to sell it back for. Minimum prices, this is where you kind of have to understand what you bought it for and what's the minimum you want to take for it. So we set up our auctioning group to buy for 20 gold or less. So obviously I wouldn't want to put these to 15 gold. You can do percentages here. So this is where you start getting into percentages. Let me look up a website here and I'll link you guys. I personally do not do a lot of price details. I really don't. I might use percentages, but I don't get crazy with crafting costs and stuff like that. Where's the actual Goblin Raster? Do you have the wiki? Is the wiki still there that gave like those custom prices, like what some of the formats are? Oh, cool. So Goblin Raster said you can even use price sources in that field. Found that out today answering someone on the forums. The undercut field. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. All right, so once it goes to TradeSkillMaster.com, there's some basic prices that you can use here. So you can do like percentage of a certain market or a price source. I hard code some of these values, and I recommend you from the beginning, until you get used to it, hard code it. So you're not trying to figure out what the price should be from a market percentage or because you don't know items yet. You don't know how many, if the item's worth of value and so forth. So for this simple gem, moss agate, this should be pretty standard. Whatever you buy it for, you want to make sure that the minimum is at least above that. Okay, let's try that out. Let's do this. /TSM sources. Okay, cool. So if you type /TSM space sources, a small list will come up, basically giving you just what we talked about. So you can have a disenchant value. It gives you some price sources that you can actually work from if you wanted to put in not hard-code values here. So there's certain things that I hard-code because I know that I'm going to sell them for this all the time, and there's certain things that you don't want to hard-code. You want to have it fluctuate based upon the market increasing, so you don't have to keep revisiting your prices. So there's like wow auction regional market, mediums, vendor sell, vendor buy, max buy, min. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can learn here. But for this one, minimum price, whatever you bought it for, you want to make sure it's above that. So if we want to say we're going to at least make 5 gold per gem, you'd put 25 gold, 25G, hit enter, and that would list it. These are each prices, I believe, as well. So 25 gold minimum. We bought it for 20. We're making at least 4 and change on the sale. What do you normally sell it for? I'm going to put down here 35 to 45. So I'm going to put like 42 gold. Hit OK. The maximum is, you never want to have a maximum that's like too high, because sometimes as we get over to these decision processes over here, sometimes people are going to spike or post something in the auction house with a price that they'd never sell it for, but they're trying to mess with people who use add-ons or market statistics a little bit. So they're trying to boost up prices. So they might put, like here, you'll see an item sometimes, you do a search for 9,999 gold or something, and it's like a piece of fruit, right? People do that to mess with price sources. So from here is you basically want to say, what's the maximum amount of price I want to sell it for? Realistically, you're not going to sell a gem for a lot if it's a moss agate. So I know that minimum 25 gold, maximum 42 gold is what I sold it for, so, or 42 normal. You can even bump this down to like 35. And maximum, I'm going to say 52 gold. Just for an example. You can actually copy this if you're following along. You can do that. The important thing over here is these decision things. When it's below my minimum, what do I want to do? Look at my green screen again. As the sun's changing, it's not as bright. So if it's below my minimum, what do I want to do? Do I want to ignore it? Post it at my minimum, maximum price. Don't post anything, post it at my normal. So typically if it's below, I will post it at my normal, or I won't post it. By default, it's not going to do anything, which means you'd keep it in your bag. You can make the decision manually what you want to do. Or you can say, no, I want to make sure that it's posted, post it at your normal price. We'll keep it at post at items, don't post items. Your maximum's the same way. If it's above 52 gold, which you know that's the highest amount you're ever going to really sell it for, and someone has it listed for 15,000, you don't want to post it at your maximum price or your minimum or normal. You want to make the decision yourself. So keep it realistic, or keep it at minimum. I would say keep it at normal, and that's the default. So if they're way out of the ballpark, post it at your normal price. Make the goal the way you want to make it. Why is this flashing? Just had a message come in, so answer that. Okay, so that's the shopping or the auctioning thing. We have one set up. We're going to sell it for these price ranges. Now we're going to hit close on TradeSkillMaster. Now we're back at the auctioning. If it's closed, just right click on it again, open up the window, and you're back at it. Now we want to go to auctioning. When you come to auctioning, this is what you're going to sell. So it's going to look like this. You have raw gems. All your groups are going to be automatically highlighted over here. We only have one, so it kind of looks small. But all your groups are going to be highlighted over here. Hit Start Post Scan. That's going to say, all right, I have 15 items in my bag. What do I want to do with them? And it's going to do a search. You see it searching down here at the bottom. If you're searching for, and it has a lot of items, you're going to say, all right, what's currently there? It's going to say, all right, there's moss agates here for 38 gold, and the status or the info column is going to say you're going to undercut that competition. Remember I said you can tell what you bought it for? So here we can say I bought them for as low as 33 gold, purchased for 18. I sold my last ones for 33 gold a piece. This is 38. I'm going to undercut them by 1 copper. So here you can say I have 1 auction. What do I want to do? You can hit post, and then it's going to list. If you do back to shopping, and you do the search again, raw gems, that will do the search for what's there. If you type in moss agates, you should see your item listed. There I am, 150% value, only 1. It only posted 1 because that relates to /TSM, groups, parent group, auctioning, view operations, post. It relates, now you can see the differences between stack and stack value, post cap. How many of do I want to keep at the auction house at one time? Or do I want to work with stack values? If you want to post them at eaches, you can do that. If you want to keep them in stacks, you can say stacks of 20. Or you can do stacks of 1 and then post cap is 20. You can do anything you want from that range and keep those back and forth. 20, 20, and 20. Close. Now you'll see a difference when we go back to auctioning and we try to do a start scan. Oh, where's my auctioning? Where's my restart? Oh, look at that. Oh, I don't have a stack, that's why. Hold on, I got a chat message. Now it's coming up. Yeah, I have 14. What do I want to do? 14 gems of 1. Private message. So here you can do post if you want to do post again for those eaches. You can highlight it, you can hit post. And keep posting them accordingly if you want to do that. Show item auctions, show edit post. So you can post, if you say now I want to kind of bump it up, you can actually adjust the prices there. Show all auctions is all that. Show log is what you're currently looking at in the search function, and you can do that. You can also go to a way to list things is just do the normal search. So you can hold down your shift key from your bag. Shift, left click, it'll do the search automatically for you. Caro game, can you do minimum 80% of market value, normal 100% market value, and max? Yep. Or you can do normal 110%, whatever you want to do. The price source has to be the valid price source, so that's why I want to try to validate. Make sure you're using the right one. It'll give you an error if not. So from here you can kind of do some cool things. So even from the shopping tab you can post stuff. From here, and I do a lot of postings here too because I'm always searching for values of items. You can say, all right, I have 13 moss agates. I want to sell a 10 stack. The thing you want to remember here, guys, and this is from my own experience, other people might have different opinions, but people will buy 20 stacks first. It doesn't matter if they have to scan through 50 tabs of eaches or 10s or miscellaneous. They'll buy 20 stacks first. Believe it or not, they'll buy 10 stacks next, 15s, 5s, and then eaches, or the miscellaneous numbers. 20, 10, 15, 20, 10, 15, 5, 1s, or 7s, or the oddball numbers. That's just the way it is. I found that. I proved it to myself. That's the way it works. They'll buy a 10 stack flat over a 15 stack. I'm just telling you. That's what it is. Numbers are funny. So here we can say, all right, I mowed these for 38 gold, 150% value. I can click on my same name and I can hit post, but notice we have a pop-up now. So we have some options. Now it's going to say, all right, your rule basically says you can sell 1 for 1, but you have 13 in your bag. I can click this max button and notice the pricing up here. If I click max, it's going to automatically calculate per my 38 gold, 1 silver, 59 copper, times 13. This is the value you're going to sell it for. I can do minimum again by switching over here. Or I can change these values. I can say, now I want to make a 10 stack. Click in there, type 10, tab out, and it'll say, all right, that's the 10 stack value. Or I can say, now for my 10 stack value, I kind of want to make it 40 gold a piece. Tab off of that, and it would actually adjust accordingly. 40 times 10 is 400 gold flat. I want to make 15 silver extra, make 15 silver extra. So you kind of get some flexibility on what you want to do from there. You can adjust the pricing here. I'm going to put them for 24 hours. I'm going to bump the price up. Let's hit close. I'm going to say, well, this guy has 29 eaches up, and he has some 10 stacks. Notice why he did that. He has eaches and he has 10 stacks. If I switch, right-click on this, it'll show per stack. It was set to eaches. Right-click per stack. So this is stack price now. He's selling 1 stack, 18 stacks of 10 for 390. So unless I had a 20 stack, I'm not going to post above them unless you know you're going to sell for that value. To me, I know that moss agates would sell for 852,000 gold a stack. Because this guy has so many, I'm going to undercut him by 1 copper on that price. So if I left-click on his name, wherever I click in here, it's going to remember that price. Left-click where you want to post it above. So left-click, post, and I want to post 10. It's there. Notice it's going to undercut him by 1 copper. Post. I'm only posting 10 of my 13. There it is. Now I'm above this one guy who has 18 stacks of 10s. So now I have 3 of them left. I can actually click on here, post, check the max button. So I'm going to do singles. So it says blank stacks of whatever. 3 stacks of 1. Click post. And you see at the bottom it's going to automatically post them all for you without having to drag to the bag to the block, post, bag to auction house post. Do them automatically. It's a quick way to do it right from the same tab that you're buying from. So you don't even have to switch tabs if you don't want to. Alrighty. One second here. All right, moving on. Let me adjust this green screen again. Click, done. Okay, guys, that's actually what we bought. So now let's go back to TradeSkillMaster. So we now have, if you click on your auctions, you now have a bunch of moss agates listed up on the auction house. There they are. Beautiful thing that they are. You can interact with them. Left click on them if you made a mistake. Cancel it right from there. So now let's go to /TSM again, and then let's take a look at what we did. So we have a group now, and now we have items in a group. We've assigned 2 actions or 2 operations. We instructed ourselves how to actually... That's funny. So if you look at, people have already bought 4 of my moss agates. So if I go to auctions, there they are, bought. So I've just listed them. I've just bought these for 14 to 17 gold a piece, and I've already reflipped them. 4 of them. So right away I've doubled my money in a matter of seconds. So I've just posted them and sold them already. I don't have any volume here because I kind of don't want to have stuff blending through, but it does make a nice cha-ching sound when you sell. So let's add a little bit of volume in because it's kind of cool when you get the cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's all exciting and stuff, like the lottery. All right, so from here we have one group that's functional to buy and sell from. Everything's adjustable if you ever wanted to go back into it. Shopping operation, I have one. I'm selling them for, I'm buying them for 20 gold or less. I'm selling them for 25 gold or more. Again, you can adjust these. You can hear that sound. I don't know if you could hear that sound. I don't know if you heard the cha-ching sound, did you? My volume's turned way down. Let me turn my volume up. Yeah. So you should have heard a cha-ching. That's actually one of the actual groups that I buy from. It's actually the Dark Moon Fair one that I just sold one for 302 gold that I bought for 63 gold. So again, 4 or 5 times the value. So because the Dark Moon Fair's out, now let's start getting into, yeah, but it's all about the cha-chings. Let's start getting into working with other people's groups. So back to my document that I posted earlier, which is this document right here. If you lost that, I will repost it again. This is a Google document. Click on that document. It'll pull up this document right here. From here, now scroll down till you get to page, what page is this? Page 9. And you see this Dark Moon Fair. You should bookmark this document because I keep this updated periodically as I add new groups. Because the Dark Moon Fair is around, you can actually make some quick gold selling 9 quest items. If you ever seen those quest items that are in your bags, you can get them, you can turn them into the Dark Moon Fair for, I don't even know what they're used for because I actually never turned them in. I've always sold them. But you can turn them in, I think, for rep or tickets or something that you can buy with the Dark Moon Fair. I think it's rep with the Dark Moon Fair or whatever the thing is called. People who are honor freaks or reputation freaks, sorry. You can tell me what the faction is for that if there is one. I don't know. But what we want to do is see how it has a shopping operation here and it has a selling operation or auctioning. Above that, there's a small group of numbers, and there's 9 of them separated by commas. Highlight with your left mouse button that group, and copy that. And then I'm going to move this over here for now. I'm going to go to TradeSkillMaster /TSM or the minimap. I'm going to go to the Groups tab. I'm going to create a new group. This is Dark Moon Fair quest items. I'm going to make sure, again, you're at the top level now because I'm creating a new group. I don't want this group to be a subgroup of raw gems. I want it to be at the top level new group. Left click, Dark Moon Fair quest items. Name it as much as you want, but it's going to kind of go off. Hit OK. I'm going to switch automatically to that new group. OK, brings me to this group. If I click on items, there's nothing in it. This item list is actually going to import that now. All 9 items automatically. Copy those numbers. Keep them in your clipboard. Now we're going to click on Import Export. This allows you, if you know item numbers, to import very quickly all those into the group that you have selected on the left side. So in this import string, left click on it and paste it. When you do that, you'll see the OK button will appear. This is the important thing you want to do. As you start working with groups, as far as I understand, an item, a unique item, can only be assigned to one group at a time. It can't be in multiple groups. So if you already have established groups and you might have Dark Moon Fair items in some other thing, if you check this box, it will actually move the items from those groups to this group specifically. If you keep it checked and you might have this number or this item already in another group, it's only going to import 8 or 5 or 6 or 3. So as you start working with groups, pay attention to the check boxes. Don't get click happy, paste, OK, because your shit's just going to be, your items are going to be all over the place. So because we're fresh, we're virgins, we have nothing in here, paste, click OK. Now go back to items, and voila, there's the 9 items that we have. Almost like what we moved the moss agate to. There they are. Notice operations, they're just sitting there. Nothing's applied to them yet. We have to apply an operation or an action, what we want to do with them. So back to my document, you guessed it, we want to take the shopping operation. All these codes or these caret symbols, very important. So make sure you copy from the beginning to the end of the line. These aren't mistakes or anything. All of it. Copy that. And again, it's a shopping operation, which means buying, shopping. So here we want to go to operations. So we're in the group, operations. We want to go to shopping. Notice I said before, you can actually click on here and you can do raw gems, but there's no ones for Dark Moon Fair. Hold on, I have a text message over here now. Shopping, create shopping operation. Call it whatever you want. Again, call it something unique so you're going to know what the hell it's for. So Dark Moon, this is where I'm going to, Dark Moon Affair, quest items. Okay. And here's the basic operation that you're going to do. You're going to go into management. Click yes, because you want to link the groups. Management. At the bottom in the middle section, import operation settings. Left click there. Paste. Click OK. Again, it should match exactly what's in this document. If not, you might get errors. Click OK. And now if you go back to general, notice it's set this value to 50 gold. What's up? Do you want a balloon? You can actually go, I mean, this stuff's actually, it's kind of encoded, but you can kind of tell. It's basically max price. See a max price, set 50G, 50 gold. Show above max price, nothing. 50 gold, show above, nothing there. So that's for shopping. Now we want to do the same thing for auctioning. Back to this list. Auctioning. Highlight this, scroll down, or drag down until you to the end, copy it. Back to auctioning, click on operations, or you can go back to the group. Remember, I always go from the group. Group name, auctioning, you know, shopping, we already have it set. Auctioning, create new auction. DMF quest items. Okay. Link it, yes. Management. Notice we go to post, it's all default. 5, 50, 100. We go to management, import operation settings, paste. Okay. I'll tell you in your general window too, TradeSkillMaster successfully imported operation settings. To validate, click on post. Now you can see my values have adjusted from 5, 150 to 105, 1250, 302. These have adjusted, all these values have adjusted based upon that. These are the values and pricing in this document that I use. Again, you have to kind of feel out for your realm by just doing some basic searches. What are they currently selling for? And then experiment bringing these up and down as you see fit. So now if we go back to groups, we have another fully functioning group. We can buy and sell from these 9 items. Let's try it. Open up the auction house. Notice I am defaulting to shopping. And notice on the left you'll see this window here. If you do not see the window, all you have to do is just click on any one of these buttons and a side window will appear. TSM groups, these are your groups set up. Now notice they're both highlighted. So this means I can basically do a search on both of the groups that I've created, or using these buttons at the bottom I can deselect. I can select a certain one and do a search, or I can actually, once that comes back, I can deselect, do a search here. I can check them to deselect them if you don't want to use the buttons. But I only want to do a search for Dark Moon Fair items. So now I'm going to do start search, and this is basically going to do a search based upon what we have set up. You guessed it, in groups. Underneath shopping, it's going to say 50 gold or more, 50 gold or less. There's nothing listed because there's nothing listed for that value. So if it returns 0, don't think you did something wrong. It's just it's not meeting your values that you're setting to be able to buy or sell from them. Now we can actually do, since we're on auctioning, let's go to save searches. So save searches, these windows over here, as you click on it, will be blank. You have no recent searches, you have no favorite searches. I'm going to give you some of my favorite searches that I do, that I use. The first one is based upon certain items that will actually, before the stat squish, when the stat squish comes in, these items might change. They might not be as profitable as they are today. And I kind of list that at the top of my document. Pending Warlords of Draenor, these lists in here might change, and I'll keep it updated anyway. But the first one we want to do is, I'm going to do a save search on, actually, let's walk through one that we don't know. Let's click on this cool custom filter, and you'll see this side window over here. This is a very cool option. Hey, thanks, Gimp. Thank you very much, Gimp's Gold is in the house. Another fellow gold maker, guys. Very sharp dude. So let's say you don't know what you actually want to buy. Or what you want to buy for. We're in the actual shopping tab, custom filter. What you can do is you can use these middle drop downs here to start forming a search term or a query string, or whatever you want to call it. Search term. Drop down is actually by class. Notice that these are in line with, if you went to browse, these are the same listings, same categories, if you will. So let's select, we want to search for, I don't know, armor. I only want to search for plate. I only want to search for armor, plate that are green or uncommon. Notice this search field is blank up here, right? There's nothing in search terms. This will actually tell you what to type up here, and this gets very, very detailed on what you can do. Very flexible and powerful. If you hover your mouse over, it gives some quick tool tips there for some filters. But you're going to hit Start Search. And you'll see here it's going to go through its scanning, multiple pages and so forth. It's going to basically return now anything that's armor, plate, in green. It could be quite a bit because it's broad. So we're going to hit Stop. Anytime you're doing something and it doesn't come back right away, or you want to do a long search, or you want to modify it, just hit Stop. And then you realize, well, I only want to actually search for only things that are between level 65 and 75 that are plate, armor, plate in green. You're going to hit Search. And it's going to go through and it's going to try to search the auction house for everything that meets that criteria. And it's going to return the results back to you. Once that's done, you'll see it populate, if anything. Some of these, as you're working with transmog, pieces, like Fat Loots has an awesome transmog list. Silent Thunder has a nice transmog list from their site. These searches will take a lot because you're searching through hundreds and hundreds of items. So this returned now basically what I searched for, any item that's actually plate, green, and in the range, item range that I was searching for. Now let's say, or in the level range, sorry. Now let's say, yeah, I want to search for item range. Let's say we have a bunch of 117s right here. I don't know what they are, but I said, I now realize I only want to search for items that are 117 item level. Start search. And same thing, it's going to go through those pages. It's going to return back the results. Notice that it's starting to build your string here. This is going to be very important as you start doing your own custom searches, how you can save these and come quickly here to start buying stuff. So it does its search. There it goes. 117 item level exclusively. Not that these are worth anything. I'm just showing you as an example. Now let's say I only want to actually show things that are 12 gold or less. So you have a bunch of stuff. So you can actually append on here by clicking on left-clicking, putting a / and say 12G. See how fast it came back? Because the more you narrow down the search, the quicker the search results is going to come back. So now it's saying, exactly, here's your actual search. This is the 12 gold or less. If I say 11 gold, and let's do 75 silver, it should return back 3 results. 3 results. And it's the same thing. You can put copper there or whatever. Most people just do from the gold amount. So let's say you want to save this now. So now you go back to save searches, and everything that you've typed, see all the iterations. We started with plate, uncommon, then we added level, then we added item level, then we added gold. This is like a historical list of all the searches that you've done. Let's say you want to add this search now to favorite searches. You'll see I have a bunch down here that are static. These will keep rolling. All you have to do is right click. Notice it added it back here. Right click to remove it. Right click to add it. Now let's say I'm away, TradeSkillMaster, I come back, I go to the mailbox, I picked up stuff, I'm like, oh man, I wanted to search for more of that stuff. Shopping, save searches, left click, done. There it is. I mean, that's simple. And that's how I actually do the majority of my buying is through that. Yeah, that's actually cool, Goblin Rest. I saw that too. So it's actually coming in on August 14th. I think it's at 9:30 time, their time. They're going to release the actual official date of when Warlord's going to be. Yeah, I got that too. The official date of when Warlord's going to be released. So that's pretty cool. It's coming up next week. The 14th is also my wedding anniversary of my wife. So we've been married for 15 years, been together for 18 years. So it'll be our 15th year wedding anniversary on the 15th, and then on the 16th, which is Saturday, I turn 41. Oh yeah, I know I look like I'm in my 20s because I'm bald and beautiful, but yeah, that's exactly where it's going to be. Thanks, Arcanus. So again, save searches, very cool, and you can interact with these. These are some of the save searches that I do now. That I'll give you. First of all, I come in and I search for, I just added a new thing because these have been selling pretty good. But first search I do is my green search, which is based upon this group. If you go to this document, and you go down to greens, underneath Cataclysm and Pandarian flipping greens, these are the imports like we work through. These are my pricing, selling operations for each one, buying operations for each one, so you can do those imports. But this is actually the search string that I use. I'm basically saying show me anything that's a combined search. So you can actually combine searches now with a semicolon. This is actually... Alright, Chef, thank you, Goblin Rasser, for hanging in the channel. I appreciate it. Happy cooking, man. Goblin Rasser, ladies and gentlemen, thedrunkenmogul.com. Check him out. Good friend of mine, fellow gold maker, Gold Cap. Knows exactly what he's doing. Here's actually the search string that I use. Now you notice if we walk through it, it's very easy to understand. This is saying level 77 to 80, item level 272 to 510 that are 50 gold or less. Show me those. Oh, also in the same search, show me level 83 to 84, item 363 to 510 for 50 gold. And then here it is. It's going to basically return the results. Now it's understanding what to buy in this search. Like you can search for anything, but does it have value? Over time, you'll start to realize what the value of some items are, and that just comes from experience. But if you're not sure, you can hover over your mouse over the things. You can actually walk down through the lists and look at the values. Minimum, maximum, what's the average price? A couple rules. One, if you hover your mouse over it and it says at the bottom source, or if it says it's a craftable, I think this source that says tailoring. Let me move my thing over to make sure you guys can see that. At the bottom it says jewel crafting 425. That's actually an add-on that gives me that. It's from Altaholic. Altaholic gives you the ability to be able to search across multiple tunes for items, gold, trade, skills, professions, mail, blah, blah, blah. So you can actually hover your mouse over these and it actually tells you, I don't buy wands. I don't buy craftables. So these are rings crafted by jewel crafters. If you're familiar with jewel crafting, you're probably saying, oh yeah, those are Jasper rings. I don't buy them. I don't buy wands because they're useless. I don't buy anything from any trade. So here's a tailoring item. Here's an engineering item. This is actually a blacksmithing item. More wands. And at a quick glance, there's nothing here that I'd buy. Another shopping one that I come in is actually this one. This is weapons. Oops, can't do that. It's not typing it now. There's one for weapons. Copy. Paste. That's weird. It won't paste it. I'll paste them in here. I'm not sure why. I think I actually already have them. Yeah, I already have them in here. If you look at the groups, you'll see them right next to it. I call them save search strings. So I won't actually add those. But we can actually come in and do quick searches and say, all right, here's the weapons. Now I'm seeing level 83 to 84, 100 gold. Weapons sell a little bit more than armor. So I'm going to scan through this list. Just by looking at it, I know nothing of value. The other one is 77 to 79. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Harlequin, sir. I don't think you actually need the slash. Let's see. No, you don't need the slash for it to work. So that's the weapon search. This is the other weapon search that I do. And again, right away, I look at it, I don't see anything. So you'll get that fast of actually being able to interpret stuff. That makes it more efficient. So then the other one is 83 to 84, and these are like bind and equipped items, potentially. There's some craftables that are mixed in here, but they're rare items, which are blue, level 80 to 85, 410 plus item level, 300 gold on the armor and the weapon side, both. And this is actually this search. Copy this for you guys. This is all in that document too. Thing you have to watch out for here is, again, I don't buy craftables, so there's no way through a search string you can filter out craftables. You just can't do it in here. So you're gonna have to scroll through this list and say, all right, these are all jewel crafting. Those are leatherworking, weapons, blacksmithing, nothing of value. And again, if you have questions, you can hover your mouse over. You can say, all right, here's the minimum. You can make educated decisions on the fly just by hovering your mouse over items. So there's nothing there. What you also can do is, I do searches for materials. So you can say, all right, show me gold. That's 1 gold or 40 silver on eaches. So you do a quick search here. That's where I'm searching for ghost iron ore if you wanted to. Nothing came up. If you want to do exact prices, you could actually just type in or exact names. You can type in ghost iron ore /exact or /exact for anything. Shows that in the tooltips, you know, actually just show you ghost iron ore only. Like if I type ghost iron, it can show me ore, it can show me craftables, bars. So this gives you specifically only to that item by itself. Yeah, so the crafting part is it actually adds that. So it says the way that works is maximum. What's the max price or the highest price? Is it 150% DB market or 1.2 times crafting cost? I think that's how that works. Again, I don't get into that type of level of percentages. Goblin Rasser or Cryan or someone from the IRC forums can actually help you with that. But there's minimum and maximum prices that I use. I think if I show you the ones that I use that are the most complex, they're still very basic. So if I switch back to my other profile and I go into, like, for instance, these auctioning, you can see I'm actually doing 2 price sources here. That's as complicated as I get. I don't deal with crafting costs. I don't deal with, you know, percentages of crafting time. I don't include crafting costs because I know the value of the craftable. And when you do that, you can actually use TradeSkillMaster. And this will be in another series. Obviously, I can't talk everything about TradeSkillMaster in this one setting because we'd be here for days. But if I have jewel crafting, which I do, and I pull up the actual crafting window, this is what your window will look like when you're using TradeSkillMaster, the crafting module. Notice that it actually has a column. You have the name, and then it actually has a column for profit. So I could say, and you can have crafting costs here, right-click item value, right-click profit. This takes the simplicity out of it. There's no complex formula of what I need to know. I know if I make this, I'm making 3 gold profit minimum. If it's in the red, I'm not going to make a profit based upon crafting costs and what's involved. So it already figures that in based upon profit and value. So you can actually scroll through and just make just what's here. You have to watch these sometimes. I sometimes still watch because some of the items aren't actual. And again, it depends on what's buys and sells. Like resilience. I don't think resilience is that important anymore. I don't think. I'm not a PvP expert, but I think the value of PvP resilience on gems have went down. So yeah, you would make 13 gold profit if it's sold, but you still need a buyer for that to sell. That's important to realize that. So these profits are basically, I stick to known items. If you wanted to do further, you can actually go into TradeSkillMaster from this part, /TSM, underneath crafting. This will show you a whole view. You can click the profession at the top, jewel crafting, and here it gives you a whole view of percentages. You can actually sort these: market, percentage, item value, blah blah blah. And then you can say, yeah, if I created a Swift Sky Flare Diamond, profit 421 gold, 1220% markup, crafting cost is 34 gold, item value 455. It subtracts the difference. There it is. And then from here you can actually queue up, if you had the materials, by clicking this and say, here's like the whole menu. I would say, yeah, I want to create one of those, I want to create one of these. Open up here, and then you can actually go right in and see how it automatically puts it over here. Sky Flare, this is what it would cost, this is what I need for materials. It has a gathering function. You can actually go to the auction house and actually gather based upon what you wanted to create. It's very complex, not complex, but smart. Smart's a better word, or intuitive. It's not complex once you get it, but it's very intuitive on what it can do for you based on what you want to do with the auction house. So from here, guys, I think it's basically working through the functions of learning safe searches by using custom filters, using your TSM groups to actually do your buying. So as you come in here, as we talked about, our 2 groups would actually be shown here. Do your searches and buy from there. Quick posting is you don't have a group, you want to quickly get stuff out of your bag. You can actually just shift click and it would post it based upon this price, which which is very cool. So I wanted to post this vermilion, shift click, it posted it for me. Custom filter, full with your own search. You can't break it, so full with your own searches. So if I typed in something like that, I don't even know if it would actually try to search for something like that. I was trying to search it, but some of them will actually get you an error. I'm trying to see if I can make an error out. It's pretty smart, so. And it's taking a number, so I can't put, they're doing validation, I can't put an actual numeric in the field. But if I do, I don't know what this is. Yeah, it's coming back. It's going to say it's nothing. So you put bogus information in, you're not going to get anything. But use the saved searches. Go back to your saved searches. Add a couple of them to your favorites. Mess with them. If you don't like them, right-click, move them, and keep going back and forth with that. Get familiar with the shopping operation, because, again, that's how I make a lot of my gold. Most of it, 95% shopping. Then I come back and I do auctioning and I relist it. Shopping operation, same thing. Or auctioning, you're selling them back. Shopping, you're buying. Or you can sell directly from this window too. Instance, shift left click, you'll do the actual search, say yeah, I'm going to sell it for this price. 5 of them in my bag. Post, I want to post the max amount. I want to post 12 hours. 5 stacks of 1, 39 gold, undercutting this guy by 1 copper. Fire away, it posts all 5 automatically. Done. What about server markets? I believe server market is AuctionDB. AuctionDB, what you specifically saw in the auction, or what's pulled from your auction data. Okay, so that's that. Let's see. So you know how to create groups. Again, I have video series on my YouTube. If you go to, let me get that link right there. youtube.com/ProfitsTV. Go to my playlist of gold making. Here's my playlist. There's the actual playlist link. So here it would actually show you all of it from the introduction, what is TradeSkillMaster, quick videos on each of the sections that we talked about. So 9.5 minutes on just groups, 13 minutes on group management, 15 on importing and exporting, 17 on auctioning operation, shopping operation, custom and search filters, which we just talked about, and then the last one, which I just did recently, 30 minutes specifically on the desktop application. So all of these will actually help you guys. I gotta actually, insects, I hate insects. So all of these will help you gain your skill in using TradeSkillMaster, because it is very powerful. Again, I don't use all the actual add-ons, but it is powerful. When I need to use them, I get in touch with those folks, hang out in the IRC chat, watch some tutorials. But I've gained all this through learning from others, just like you're here today, learning from me, doing some research, tinkering with it. You can't break stuff. You might lose your groups if you do something wrong. But you can't break stuff, so don't be scared to break this stuff. And then eventually you'll see that your lists will grow. If you use this document, you will actually have all my green flipping groups, which are 77 to 80, 83 to 84, my subgroups, my low-level green groups. You'll have all the pricing information for that. You'll have the blue proc gear. You'll have the bind and equip blue gear or rare gear. You'll have dark moon fair items, which we walk through. You'll have a vendor list. My buddy Shin there, who's a European gold maker, he actually provided this list to me, and it works. This is actually just going to vendors locally, like going to buying certain items from engineer vendor or tailoring vendor and stuff, dyes, gears, and selling those, wood stocks. And believe it or not, selling them and making a profit off of it. They do buy them, believe it or not. So you have everything that you set up. Here's the actual macro that we talked about too. Buying and selling is in there. Some quick things to actually purge stuff from your bags. So it's a pretty useful document. But as you grow over time, you'll start adding groups in here. You'll have a lot of items to deal with, and it becomes smarter and smarter the quicker and more involved you get with TradeSkillMaster. So my total operation, so you know, is, and this is all the time that I typically spend unless I'm trying new markets, is I come to the auction house, I open up all mail. I have 193 mail to open up. These are things that have expired or rolled off. You see I have a bunch of gems in my bag that I just bought, like 100 stacks of gold. Not 100 stacks of ghost iron ore that I prospected, so I have to work through all of these. Fill up your bags. You see I only have like 6.2k on this guy. I reinvest a lot, and I actually just bought my professions. So I bought, when I say I bought all the mats for alchemy, all the mats for jewel crafting on the auction house, and leveled them up 1 to 600. I didn't farm anything. I didn't go out and quest for anything. I bought all of them from the auction house. This one cost me 15,000 gold. This one cost me 7,000. So it's 20-something thousand gold right there just in materials alone that I was able to buy from doing this process right here. So I'm going to show you my process. I come to the auction house. I have a cup of coffee or whatever. I do a couple burpees, jumping jacks or whatever. Polish my head. I come to the auction house. It goes right to buying. I always buy and reinvest. Always buy and reinvest. Buy, reinvest your gold, because that makes you the opportunity to increase your surplus and continue to make your gold make gold for you. Make your profit. Make your value or your profitability make more profit by reinvesting. Don't let your gold just sit in your bags because it's doing nothing. So here's my total search. So here's my first search that I'm going to do. Nothing comes back. Here's my second search that I'm going to do. Some of these you already saw. I'll start a timer. So I'll add 5 seconds to the timer when we're done. So again, these are based on search groups that you'll get familiar with. You might get, and I ask you to share. So if you find new markets that you actually enjoy and that you're making gold from, share it with me. I'll show you what I have. Share it with me. Never be concerned about competition, because it, quite frankly, just doesn't exist. There's competition, but it's only competition if you let it be. That's like anything. It's only competition if you let it be, because there's ways you can make gold that we'll get into as we talk about further foundations, like the next stream that I'll do. So here's the first search. I'm not going to buy anything. Quick check. Done. And I actually checked that quick. There's nothing there that I want to buy. Next search is kind of what we did before. I'm going to do a search for specific weapons in the 77 to 79 range. Looking at the list, nothing. Going to weapons. This is 83 to 84. Looking at the list, I got nothing. I'm going to go to my shopping group now for my bind unequipped. I'm looking specifically for BOEs, even though there's going to be procced items that are in here, because you can't filter it out yet. So I'm doing that. You can't filter it out natively either. You can't say from the native that only show me BOE items. You can create a list, a shopping list for sure. Nothing I want to buy. Those are all the searches that I do from here. Then I go to TradeSkillMaster groups. Those are my saved searches. I did like 4 of them, 5 of them. And I'm saying, all right, I already did searches for all of these right here. Then I'm going to do a document for fair search, 50 gold or less. Oh, here we go. 50 gold or less, but I have the checkbox that says show me if it's 52 gold. I want to know about it. So there's nothing there that I want to buy. It's over my pricing purchase. So I'm going to stop. So 2 minutes, around 2 minutes or less, depending on how busy or how much on the auction house. These other groups I typically don't do searches for unless I have time. I'm not going to do searches for them now because this group right here is actually Fat Loots' transmog group, which you can get right here. Let me get you that price. Get you that group. FatLootsGolds.net. Here's his beta list, FatLootsGold.net, and he has the same type of information that you'd need. You would have all the beta information, all the prices, his beta access lists, everything you would need, shopping operations and stuff right from his page. So I'd highly recommend doing that if you want to get into the transmog market. That's a very solid list right there, very accurate. that you can do searches for. If you do searches off of this list, expect it to take a few minutes because there's hundreds and hundreds of items in that list. So when I typically do this, I'm either tabbed out, I'm going to get something to eat, I'll let it run, come back and see what's actually there. Same thing with the sniper groups. The sniper groups is a cool feature in, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's an advanced feature, but let me give you the link for this. The sniper group is basically another way, or another shopping list, if you will, that searches for certain things. It's from the consortium, made by Sterling. Highly recommend that you bookmark this. Again, he walks through, kind of like what I just walked through, how to import it. He provides the lists of the items. He provides some base pricing on what you want to do that. That is not in my document because it's not my list, and I don't maintain it. So I rather refer people directly to the people who authored it rather than trying to maintain it. I have an outdated copy, the author updated it. This doesn't make sense. Go directly to the source. That's one thing you got to learn. There's tons of people with tons of lists, but if they got it from someone else, not the source or the author have actually created it, then you could have outdated information. So he walks through specifically very detailed prices per group that you can go through and set up when you have time. Again, highly recommend doing this. This will give you some greater flexibility of all sorts of actual groups that you can search for. And Sniper is basically, if you go into /TSM for TradeSkillMaster, and you go underneath operations and shopping, so the bolts shopping tab at the bottom, Sniper option. And I tweaked this down. It's defaulted to 20%. I said I want to be 10% market because I'm always reinvesting my gold and I don't have a huge amount of gold to invest at this point. So it's typically 20%. So it's basically saying, show me anything that's 20% or less of the value based upon these price sources. WoW auction market and WoW regional market. And what that is you go to the auction house, you click on other tab, other button. At the bottom you have a start sniper. And what this does, it won't show anything right away. It'll only show the status of scanning last page. What this does is when someone posts on the auction house an item, it appears on the last page. So what happens is this is constantly searching that last page for deals. For people who wanted to list something for 3,000 gold, they forgot a zero, they listed it for 300 gold. And it will show you that based upon that percentage that you set up, so 10%. Albeit, if someone makes that mistake, you have seconds from the time of them realizing it, clicking on their auctions tab, scrolling to find the item, clicking cancel, and then it removes it to buy it. But you can find some really good deals. Like the other day, I bought stacks of exotic leather for 1 gold a piece, multiple stacks. You can find quite a bit of stuff on that. I know people that found mounts doing this. So it's a good thing if I'm doing some homework for school or college on this monitor over here, keep it up. And as things appear, you have the decision to say, yeah, that's valuable, that isn't valuable. Everything that appears in this list doesn't mean it's valuable. Everything that appears on this list does not mean that it's valuable. There's some decision that you have to make based upon the item. You can do that by hovering over your mouse on the item, looking at pricing, or just knowing from having experience in the game that, yeah, a vial of the sands is typically not 1,500 gold. You would buy it. A vial of the sands, it typically goes for, what is it, 20,000 or something? So you kind of know, I'm jumping on that. And in order to buy, this is very important. Notice I can't buy, they're grayed out. One, because no items are listed yet. But even if items started coming through, I can't buy them until I stop the sniper scan. You have to stop the scan before I can buy. I would stop it, click on the item, buy. I can't buy while it's still running. Stop, done scanning. If item's here, click on it, buy. Do it as fast as you can. To restart it, you guessed it, start sniper. And it'll go back through. Muffin Man with the boo. What's going on, guys? So that's basically the first part of what I'm going to do with TradeSkillMaster. I mean, it's very simple. It's very basic. We've been talking right now for going on almost 3 hours. And we barely, I mean, barely scratched the surface. There's so much to TradeSkillMaster. Not that it's complex. It just provides so much functionality that it takes time using it and becoming comfortable with it. Like here's one that just popped up, 9% of the value. Is it really? It's a craftable leatherwork in 490, 83. To me, that's not worth 394 gold. But it is typically underneath that market value. But notice, again, a decision. People can jack up prices. This is saying, based upon price, auction DB market value, 4,200 gold. No, it's not. It's not 4,200 gold. So you have to kind of realize some pricing and have some type of common sense to that. Realm market value, 6,400. No, it's not. I mean, it's item level 333. It's a craftable leatherwork, and it's not worth that much. So you kind of have to watch. Don't use sniper for gospel. Notice to click on it. I can't buy it. If I stopped, then clicked on it, then it needs to become available. So use it with caution. There's my dog. Let me go let my dog out. One moment, please. We'll let the sniper scan search run here. I'll be right back in a second. My wife came for the day. So, IRC client test. What do you need, Ryan? What do you need? Muffin, no, you really didn't miss anything on, I mean, sniping's really simple. Sniping has to be based upon your groups that you have set up, and then based upon that percentage. That's all sniping does. Scans the last page. Last page meaning the most recent page people are listing items on, and then you have the ability to buy and sell. The cool thing, too, is if you're ever really bored, hit stop, and there's actually a vendor search. This vendor search, you click Start, preparing filters. It might take a little while, but it'll actually scan through all the items in the auction house and return back items that you can actually buy off the auction house, walk to your closest vendor, sell them, and make a profit. The profit might only be 1 silver, but anything that comes up in this list, if you buy it all, go to the vendor and sell it, you will make a profit. Guaranteed. So that's a funny feature. Not a funny feature, but I always find it funny that I find items in this list. Because people do not pay attention and they under list things below vendor costs, which means below what they could walk to a vendor and sell for, they sell it for less. If you saw the other day, I posted a screenshot of someone selling gems for like 3 gold and 50 silver when they could have made an extra 50 silver just selling it to a vendor. People don't pay attention, or they don't have these intuitive add-ons to actually be able to make smart decisions for them when things are set up right. Argus, yeah, vendor search makes me so happy to flip that stuff. It's like free money. Exactly, it is. Again, you might not make 1,000 gold off of one thing, but you'd be surprised what comes up here. Like the gems, I was surprised to see gems, and they were actually the 417 cut, rare cuts that I found up here. And some of them, just because they underlist them, because they're not paying attention to what they're doing, you can actually could resell or flip back in the auction house if they're valuable. So it's pretty funny. I used to list items at 1 silver above vendor price just to trap lazy add-on users. Yeah, exactly, Hammer. You can get some funny stuff with that. So that's basically it, guys. This is going to be the first series in multiple series that I'm going to do of walking people through live fundamental features of TradeSkillMaster. Again, we've only scratched the surface. If we go back to TradeSkillMaster and I go back to my profile, the only thing that we really did was obviously talk about the functionality, what things do, interacting with the auction house. The only thing we did was 2 groups. We actually walked through importing one group. We actually walked through manually creating one group, adding the moss agate to that group, and then adding two fundamental operations of auctioning and shopping, buying and selling. And that's really it. We talked about saved searches. We've talked about the TSM assist, TSM space assist, which is a built-in wizard, if you will, that will walk you through some of the functions right away. We talked about some of the modules and what they do. We haven't scratched mailing. We haven't scratched crafting, warehousing. The tooltip options is basically what I would suggest when you come in here, this basically gives you, when you hover over your mouse over an item, gives you more detail in the tooltips. So by default, some of these are not checked, but you can check off what you actually want to see. And this is this cog wheel. Go through each tab. Check those off as you want them. As you can see, I have all mine checked. I want to get as most information as I have. Item tracker, I have full. You can go back and forth on how big you want the tooltips to be. TSM application, you have accounting. Accounting real quick, we kind of just glimpsed, I can just talk an hour just on this. But again, this shows you everything that you bought or sold that traded through your hands on here. Keeps track of income, resales, keeps track of gold summaries, keeps track of your player gold, where it goes graphically, keeps track of options that you can do, how you want certain formats, keeps track of trimming data or purging, basically data retention, how often you want to keep accounting information. Additions is a cool thing because it gives you some abilities to actually have sound enabled when something sells. You're not at the auction house, you get like a cha-ching sound. Gives you some other checkboxes. I think by default all this is checked. Enable sound might not be, so you just want to remember that underneath auction additions. Auction DB, I don't do anything in here. This is pricing sourcing. Also, item tracker. What's going on with that? Destroying, all pricing details, crafting. We're not even going to touch a surface on that either. Another video at another time. So get familiar with it, guys. That was my intention. Get familiar with it. Get some people in this channel that comes and want to learn about it. We know that we have a 60% people that wanted to learn the basics of it. So based upon this document now, my YouTube video series that we walk through, and basically what we walk through today, you'll be able to instantly start selling. Here's these gems, instantly sold as soon as I bought it. Instantly start making profit right away from buying and selling in the auction house. It's called flipping. Buy something, resell it, it's flipping. If you get an item off of a quest and you sell it, that's not flipping because you haven't purchased anything. If you purchase it and resell it, that's a process called flipping. So have fun with that. Fill up your bags. Spend your gold wisely. I can be reached at wildprofits@gmail.com, on Twitter @wildprofits. I'm hanging out in the IRC channel as well as all the folks that are developers and fellow gold makers that are in there from the consortium or TradeSkillMaster. Always someone that's in there. So check in there if you have questions. TradeSkillMaster.com. You can get to the IRC channel through that. And that's it. So that concludes this first foundational video series of getting you walk through and familiar with some of the basics of TradeSkillMaster. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you for Metallic Dice Gaming for sponsoring me today, my official sponsor. I am now streaming on hitbox.tv, guys, so make sure if you haven't already, click that follow button. That should be right there. Right there. Click that follow button. Help support me grow on hitbox.tv as you did while I was streaming on Twitch or Google+. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon or Monday evening. I'll be hanging out in the channel, probably answering some questions off stream, but I am recording this as well, so I am going to stop the video now. Thank you very much, wildprofits.com, and I look forward to teaching you again on the next video series. So follow me on Twitter for those next messages. Happy gaming, happy earning. Peace out, guys.